The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets will hit the practice field tomorrow against the Washington Commies for a joint practice, then an actual game Saturday at Jet Life. There's a lot of storylines to break down. Will Parkinson from Turn on the Jets is going to join me as well. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season.
There goes my hero.
Oh,
As he goes.
we bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to all the Asmaniacs who have purchased merch in the Jake Asman merch store. We have a summer drop coming Friday morning that will feature shorts, slides, sandals, and how about this? An entire catalog of clothing for the 4% female demographic in both adult and children sizes, plus new hoodies with the alternate logo, new t-shirts with the alternate logo, and for all you dog owners out there, a doggy bandana. Get your merch right now at jakeasman.com/shop and check back Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern if you want any of the new options we are adding to the store. As always, Patreon members, 15% off on everything in the store. Huge shout out to Eric Ciretti, Nick DeZoba, Montgomery Granito, Dick Chimney's Burner, and Terrence Hill for being our most recent Patreon subscribers. Get in the Discord and chop it up with your fellow Asmaniacs. Before we bring on Will Parkinson, who will come on and kind of set the scene from some of the things he has seen out at camp and talk about some of the things that the Jets have coming up, let's talk about the Haason Reddick situation. The last Robert Saleh was asked about it. He did not have an update on Reddick. And let's be real. The fact that we have made it to August 7th, I think most of us who follow this team are surprised. And I'm especially surprised we got here because once you had the report 2 Saturdays ago already from Josina Anderson that the two sides were speaking and they had positive developments, you're thinking, okay, well, there's an off day the next day. So logically, it would make sense. Let's just wrap this up and get it done. That was 2 weeks ago already. And here we are right now. And Haason Reddick remains unsigned. And to this point, it doesn't sound like there's any progress being made. Now, these things change quickly. Go back to 2010. There wasn't much progress being made with Darrelle Revis. Then all of a sudden, boom, it happened fast. He got signed. He showed up. He played in every game. But it doesn't sound like there's an update to this point on Reddick. We don't even know if the two sides are truly talking right now. Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic noted this earlier today. According to the CBA, for each preseason game Reddick skips, he's fined an entire week's worth of regular season pay, which is 1/18 of his salary. So on a $14.25 million salary that Reddick is currently under with his current contract, that equates to $791,666, which means he'd be fined $2.37 million if he doesn't report before any of the 3 preseason games. That's also in addition to the $50K per day he's already being fined. The $100,000 he was fined for skipping minicamp, the $250,000 workout bonus he forfeited, and the $300,000 in discretionary fines that the Jets can use, which Robert Saleh indicated they will likely be doing. Now, they could waive that $300K, but still, even if they waive that $300K, all the other fines are not by the Jets. They're mandated by the new collective bargaining agreement. So Haason Reddick is costing himself a boatload of money. If you factor in that $300K, and this is before we get to the first preseason game, where if he doesn't report, according to Rosenblatt, it's almost $800K he's losing. He's already incurred $750,000 in daily camp fines altogether, from mini camp to where we are now. Look, I want the Jets to get this done, but I don't think you just give him a blank check now and give him a multi-year deal, because you have to remember this too, Jet fans. What you do with this sends a message to the rest of the team. It's not just Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson who are up for new deals next year. All of a sudden, Quincy Williams is going into the last year of his deal. He's outplayed his contract to this point. He's going to want more money, potentially, if you pay Reddick, right? What if Quincy holds out? He's like, well, you guys paid Reddick. Why wouldn't you pay me? I'm basically a homegrown guy. I was picked up off waivers, and I was a nothing, and then look what I've become. Michael Carter, can they get something done with him? He's going into his walk year. Feels like the Bryce Huff situation all over again. So you got to make sure you're smart with how you handle this, right? You want Reddick, it sounds like, to come in and be a mercenary for the year, and then you say to him, hey, we'll give you a long-term extension if you play great, but we got to see it first. And the Jets could be honest with that, but they also could say, we don't want to commit. We got to pay another pass rusher in Jermaine. We have our superstars like Garrett and Sauce we need to pay. We got all these other guys, but you got to be careful with the message you send. So for those saying just pay Reddick, whatever, get him into camp, I agree. Do what you can to get him into camp within reason. If he's being unreasonable, which it's tough because we don't know, then there's a fine line you got to walk if you're Joe Douglas, because you're setting a precedent for future contract negotiations. And that is certainly something you have to keep your eyes on if you're the Jets. And also, give credit to Michael Carter. He's not holding out. Give credit to DJ Reed. He's not holding out. Tyler Conklin. He's not holding out. These guys all showed up playing out the last year of their deals. Reddick's never played for the Jets, which begs the question, what happened here as to why they traded for a guy who wanted a new deal? They acquired a guy and traded into a contract holdout. I can't remember another example of this. When the Giants signed Brian Burns, they had the deal done with the Panthers and then signed him right away. That's how it typically works. So if you believe the Jets side of things, that Reddick made it clear he would show up and play on a similar version of his deal and he reneged, then yeah, it's a bad look. But at the end of the day, it's a bad look for both sides until something with this is figured out, and quickly. I'm not going to say panic yet, but if we get to my event at T-Squared Social on August 17th, right, a week from this Saturday, and he's still not there, that to me is a problem. That to me is a problem. Joining us right now is someone who knows a thing or two about the New York Jets. He is the host of the Turn on the Jets podcast. He's a part of the Badlands Network on Patreon. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Long Island. And he went to some school in upstate New York I won't mention. Ladies and gentlemen, Will Parkinson. Hello, Will.
All right, Jake. How we doing?
We're living the dream, man. I mean, what's better than talking about, the Jets acquiring a player that's holding out for more money?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting situation. I definitely, August 12th, I said, I've been saying all week is I know Joe and Connor said August 5th. I've said August 12th is my panic date. And it's not a panic as in like he won't play for the Jets. Just I'd like to see Haason Reddick in camp and in shape and ready to roll and have a couple weeks of practice in this scheme with his teammates, getting his body ready to go for a massive week one game. And I know, you can recover if you lose week one and all that stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I just, it's kind of crazy. We're still here. And if you asked me back in April, I definitely don't think I would have been saying this.
Now, it's worth noting that the Jets aren't the only team in the league dealing with a player holding out. You're seeing it in Dallas with Lamb. The Ayuk situation seems like he's getting traded at some point soon here, but there's other examples of this. Matthew Judon up in New England is doing a hold in. It's weird that Reddick is not trying the hold in approach because, as you heard me outline in the monologue there, Will, he's costing himself a lot of money.
Yeah, he's costing himself a lot of money, and it's obviously a much bigger distraction. in some ways, I guess it's a bigger distraction. In some ways, maybe it's not, right? When you're not being there, it's like, other than saying Haason Reddick is not here and we see the daily tweets, I guess that's that. The issue, and I don't know if I mentioned this the last time I was on, but if I did, then so be it. But the reason this is such a weird situation is he's never played for the Jets. He has no loyalty to the Jets. The Jets have no loyalty to him. They're in an all-in year with a guy who's one of their 6 or 7 best players not in camp. The whole thing is odd and annoying, and there's a million different other adjectives to use. I'd like this to be over. And like at some point, I know you don't want to cave and the whole 9 yards. Part of me though is like, can the Jets just like say like, fine, we'll negotiate while you're not in camp? Like that's part of the issue here. Is like, I know the Jets are making their stance, but like Haason Reddick clearly doesn't care. And you need him. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen a lot of folks on Jets Twitter, with all due respect, I'm not sure who have ever watched Haason Reddick much, saying, oh, the Jets don't need him. Like, they have Will McDonald and Michael Clemens. Like, I don't know, man. Haason Reddick's like 3 steps above Jermaine in terms of pass rushing ability. So, and I love Jermaine. He's a great player. Like, I'm not saying that. We got to realize, if you're truthfully all in, and we're talking about Devontae Adams and Justin Simmons and all these other, like, the Jets have a player on their roster that's currently not reported yet that is better than all of those guys, other than Devontae. Like, he's that important to this team, the ability of their ceiling. Yes, can they get away with no Haason Reddick? Maybe. But like, you want Michael Clemens playing 60% of snaps? I personally don't. So again,
and even if they could get away with it, like then you're.
Why are you getting away with it? You're in an all-in year.
You're trying to win a Super Bowl, and then like, God forbid, what if someone else on your defensive line gets hurt? Then you're down 2 star players. Like, God forbid something happens to Quinnen or Jermaine, right? Like, the Jets, as bad as the injuries have been, Will, offensively, they've had a lot of issues on that side of the ball for sure. But defensively, the last couple of years, they've been, for the most part, very healthy. I know Sauce and DJ Reed missed games last year with the concussion stuff. Quinnen missed a game 2 years ago, but they haven't had, and I'm knocking on every wood I could find, catastrophic injuries on that side of the ball like they have offensively. So you don't want to risk it. Get your best players in the camp and let's go.
Yeah, I get it. And the Jets are trying to take a stance because they don't want to get, held over a barrel. And again, like I said, they don't have a relationship with Reddick, and it's not like he's come in, I'm sure Woody doesn't want to fork over more upfront cash for a team that, he has high hopes for, but he spent a lot of money on the last 5, 6, 7 years, and they haven't produced wins, right? So I get all of that. Like, all of that, again, is fair, and like, I get the Jets' point of view. I also think at some point, because continue to leak to reporters, he told us in confidence that he would report on day one. Like, guess what, dude? You didn't sign shit. Sorry, I just cursed on you. But like, he didn't sign anything. There's no incentive. Like, Reddick could have said that. And then he could have said, oh, wow, you traded JFM. That's cap space right there. Oh, wow, you lost Bryce Huff. Now you really need me. And now I could drive the price up a little bit. I'm sure he might be getting advice from an agent, and it's probably annoying to Jets fans, and it's annoying to the Jets that he might be getting different advice than he was getting back in April. But guess what? Times change. And at some point, we're now at August 7th, the more joint practices that are missed, the more preseason games that are missed. Again, is Haason Reddick going to play in the preseason? No. Is joint practice, does he need camp? No. But would you like him in camp? Would you like his body ready to go? Because as good as Nick Bosa is, Nick Bosa held out all year, and then he reported week 1. They got the deal done in the beginning of September last year, and like, he didn't really look like Nick Bosa all year, let alone in the beginning of the year. So I don't know. The Jets, again, it's such an important year to get off to a fast start. And don't you want to have your team at full strength? Again, I see both sides, but like, I'm kind of getting sick of I've led like 17 shows with Haason Reddick over the last month and a half.
Yep. It's very annoying. If you have a question for Will, he's been at a bunch of the Jets practices, write it in. We'll talk about the joint practice momentarily here coming up for the Jets, some matchups to look at. And then, of course, first preseason game on Saturday. Before we do that, let's give some love to Addison. Before the show even began, a 5 spot of channel memberships were gifted. Now, give me money, or I shoot him, and I shoot all you motherfuckers, and then we take it. Your choice, bitches. Yeah, baby. Here we go. 5 memberships. Keith Jackson, Lane Gretzky, Connor, Carey, Semi, and Joe Gelino. You are all officially Asmaniacs. Pay it forward for just $5 to gift your fellow Asmaniac a channel membership. Ladies and gentlemen, Carter Green with a super chat for us. He cuts the line, as all super chats do. I was supposed to go to camp today with my dad. We can't make the 8/20 date. Do you have any tickets we could buy from you for 8/13? Thanks. Go Jets. Carter, I'm not selling you free training camp tickets. What I will do, however, is if you message me off air on either Instagram and or Twitter, or just email me, asmanjake@gmail, I could potentially find tickets for you. Let me see if I actually have a couple extras for that date right now, Carter. Either way, message me. I'll take care of you. We will get you to camp. You're in luck. I got tickets for you. I got 2 tickets for you and your dad for 8/13. So email me, Carter, and I'll set that up for you. All right. I want to get to the joint practice because I was supposed to be there today, Will, for the practice that was open for fans. It was going to be a light practice, according to Salah, who spoke a little bit earlier today over Zoom. Now it's just a walkthrough. Tomorrow will be the joint practice against the Commanders, weather permitting for fans, but I do think there's a better chance of it happening versus today when we knew the weather was going to be horrendous for the fans in Florham Park. What to you are some of the things you're looking for in this joint practice? Because based on what we've seen from the Lions and the Giants up the road in Jersey, a lot of fights feels like something that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, so obviously 2 days with the Giants and Lions. The Lions are a team that Dan Campbell, for better or for worse, it's fun. Part of what makes them fun. It kind of is a Rexy Jets kind of vibe where it's like playing on that edge of become like almost too much and all that different stuff. So I'm not surprised. I will say Malik Neighbors looks amazing, and I'm supposed to be at Giants camp next week, so I'm excited to go see him in person. Showing you're that easily rattled as a rookie, I don't know. I would have tried to keep my cool a little bit, it's 2 days in a row of just yesterday. It's multiple times and like some of it instigated, some of it not. I'm just saying, I don't know. It's not always a good sign when you show everyone around the league that any corner can talk enough junk to get in your head and get you kicked out of a game potentially. Some teams are going to use that. That's just the way it works. I don't see the Jets and Commanders being, I'm sure I'll be wrong here, I doubt if we see a ton of fights. I'm sure we'll see 1 or 2. The Jets have made a conscious effort to have these one-day joint practices, not multiple days. They've had a day off today, basically, in a lot of senses. So I don't know how exhausted they'll be as much, and vice versa with the Commanders. Commanders are a young team, first-time head coach. Salah and Dan Quinn are close. You have to assume that there won't be too much bad blood kind of spewed before practice. That said, the Jets are a team with a target on their back this year, and then Washington's a team that one expects much of. You could see them come in and want to, start kind of, trying to make a little bit of a name for themselves. Again, that said, there's a lot of veterans that got brought in by Washington and rookies, so it's a brand new roster in a lot of ways. I just don't see Bobby Wagner getting into a bunch of fights and Austin Eckler and stuff like that. But again, I think the things I'm looking for most, I will be curious to see if Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses practice is one thing. I'd like to see if the Jets can get all starting 5 offensive linemen on the field for at least 10, 15, 20 plays. Maybe it won't be the full practice, but at least some of it. Obviously, want to see how Olu Fashanu looks against different defenses and a different team. From that perspective, the Commanders do have a really good defensive line. Obviously they've shed some pieces over the last couple of years, but there's still a lot of talent there. I don't really need to see much out of Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, those guys. It doesn't, I'd like to see them, dominate this scrimmage, and you want to see them kind of lay down the law a little bit the way they did against Atlanta a couple of years ago. But again, if they don't do that, I'm not overly concerned. I'd like to see, how's Alan Lazard look? Does he continue a really good camp, or does he kind of crater back to what he was last year? Does Malachi Corley make a few plays and get himself involved? Does Jason Brownlee step up? He's a guy who, and we could talk about this. I did my first 53-man prediction. I had Brownlee over there instead of Charles and Malik Taylor. That said, those guys are both, currently for different reasons, probably above him on the quote unquote unofficial depth chart. So that, and then I'd like to see on the defensive side of the ball, Quantez Stiggers, Eric Bernard Converse, 2 guys who have gotten a lot of burn at the twos this year in camp. Can they sit, can one of those guys push Brandon Eccles for cornerback 3? Can they make their stamp? They'll both make the roster, I think, but does one of those guys stand out? Do you see, and on the defensive line, I'd like to see Will McDonald start taking some reps from Michael Clemens. I said it before, and I know McDonald's had some flash plays, and I know when the full pads come on, he's a better looking player because, again, you can use that speed and agility and stuff. That said, every day I've been at camp, it's been like a lot of Michael Clemens and a lot of Jalen Holmes and a lot of these other guys. And Will McDonald's kind of in like a just pass rush thing. And that's fine. But he's a former first-round pick. And so those are some guys I'm kind of paying attention to, generally speaking.
We'll get to some specific matchups I want to run by you. I thought Michael Nania of Jet X Factor did a really good job putting out an article kind of breaking down some of the things to look at. So we'll go through that. But Ricky NY is paying it forward. Ricky got an Asmaniac Jake Asman Show t-shirt in the mail this morning. He sent me a tweet. Shout out to you, Ricky. Your membership went to Roy Kamuludin. So Roy, congratulations. Thank Ricky NY, who's using his free Asmaniac super chat saying YouTube's best. Salute. Thank you very much, Ricky. Here for the memes, who I've met twice now in person at Jets camp this summer. I've been trying to sound the Reddick alarm for weeks. Oh, no. It's the Reddick alarm. Well, I'll tell you what, here for the memes. It's frustrating, but there's always a chance by the end of today, he signs a deal. Like, these things happen quick, and I still think when push comes to shove, Haason Reddick is out there week 1, as Will and I were talking about. All right, Will. So your thoughts on some of these matchups here in these joint practices, because we know that the Jets aren't going to play a lot of their notable starters, if any, in this first preseason game against Washington. I'm excited to watch Sauce Gardner get some reps up against Terry McLaurin, who's, to me, one of the more underrated wide receivers in football. He's maybe like the NFC version of Garrett Wilson, where he's had just putrid quarterback play, but has still been really productive for his whole career. Your thoughts on watching Sauce and Terry go head-to-head?
You think Sauce plays?
In the joint practice or?
Oh, in the joint practice? Yeah. I thought you meant in the game. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I doubt they play many starters on Saturday, especially.
I'm just talking strictly joint
practice. Yeah. I'd like to see that. That's one. I like that. More importantly, see DJ Reed and Terry McLaurin. DJ Reed's had a better camp the last week, but certainly has had some struggles with Garrett Wilson, all camp. And so I'd like to see, does DJ Reed kind of look like the DJ Reed we know and love, during these joint practices down in Carolina? Does he look like that in Washington? Does he look that against the Giants? Stuff like that. Obviously, it a bit of a struggle to the end of the year last year. I felt like he kind of was a step worse than he was the year prior, and there was a lot going on. I get all of that. I'm not like saying he's not a good player. Then obviously doesn't get paid this offseason. I'd like to see what he looks like in these. I'd like to see the Jets safeties, kind of very specifically. Jane Daniels is like only throw slot fades. I mean, I'm obviously half joking, but like that's literally like was his go-to play and throwing the deep ball and stuff like that. Like Ashton Davis, Chuck Clark, Tony Adams have all had respectable, nice moments during camp this year. I'd like to see how they look and how they match up. Can they fly around with some speed, some energy, and just kind of solidify, hey, these are our 3 guys. Isaiah Oliver, really the 4th guy that can play multiple spots. But can those 3 guys kind of stand out from that matchup? Jonathan Allen against Joe Tippmann, snapping the ball 800 feet in the air. Like that'd be nice to see Joe Tippmann have a good practice against a really good interior defensive line. Deron Payne and him are obviously houses and are paid like it. So I'd like to see with Joe Tippmann, AVT's first time hitting different guys would be nice to see how he looks and how confident the Achilles is. Same with John Simpson, who's had one of those camps where one of the best things I think I could say about John Simpson is I have not heard a single person say anything about him.
It's been steady. Yeah.
Yeah. That means he just hasn't been a problem. And, left guard, in years past with Lakin, he had struggled a little bit since he came over, obviously, from San Fran. So, those are just some matchups for me. And again, I think Washington's a bit of an interesting unit. I'd like to see them suffocate Jaden Daniels, make him make some mistakes. I don't know if we'll see it during game day as much. I'm sure the Jets will play extremely vanilla coverage and mostly their 2s. But I'd like to see, like, during camp, during this joint practice, I'd like to see Jaden Daniels kind of have his wheels spinning a little Zach Wilson against the Patriots moments a few different times during Thursday's practice.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, to me, it's like it'd be a good sign if that happens because the Jets do face a lot of rookie quarterbacks or inexperienced quarterbacks on their schedule, especially early, right? Week 2, you're playing Levis, who's in his 2nd year. Week 3, you might be playing Drake May. Week 4, you might be playing Bo Nix or Jarrett Stidham, probably not Zach Wilson, but you get the point, inexperience there. Week 5 is either your guy, Sam Darnold, or JJ McCarthy. So you want to make these rookie quarterbacks look stupid, right? You dominated last year at times. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes played his worst game of his career, arguably, against the Jets last year. Like, that's what I want to see this defense do, hopefully, tomorrow. Because if you're going to treat these joint practices like, they're quasi preseason games because you're not playing your starters at all in the preseason, then let's go out there and show it.
Yeah. It's got it. Just like, this is like the Jets have not, I'd say we'd probably see at some point in the preseason 50% of the starters, like for like 2 series of plays. I don't know. I think it'll probably be the 3rd game. Maybe we'll see the starting defense for a little bit. Maybe we'll see some of the starting offensive line. I would be shocked if Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses play a single snap in the preseason. I don't think they should.
Well, then Moses, should Rodgers play in the preseason? Because if you're not going to
start, the more I think about it, the more I don't think he should.
Okay.
The only way I think he should, I'd like to see them all be dressed and go through a game day warm up in MetLife again, and Rodgers be able to run around on that MetLife turf and like warm up and like get any of that like voodoo out of his kind of brain. But the more I think about it, like he's taken. I mean, Jake, you were there on Saturday. The starting offense ran like 60 plus plays in full, in 100-degree heat, like full speed, like against one of the league's best defenses. Like he's not seeing stuff it's not like he's not getting full speed reps. And as much as, and if you play him at all, maybe you play him in the Carolina game, who's very bad, and you get like literally 1 series of these guys and you get out of there and then like they're done for the preseason. I don't know, like what's the benefit of Rodgers playing? I guess is what to see if he looks good, but like, doesn't he not look good in camp? I don't know.
So the only thing I could think of, and you're a former college football player, so you could take us inside, the athlete mentality here, is if he feels like he needs to just be out there, take a hit, kind of just go through it. Like even if he goes through the pregame warmups as if it's a game, there's something different about, hey, the lights are actually on this time. You're on 100%. The field. Like if he just feels like mentally it's the last hurdle he has to clear before he goes out there against an elite defense on Monday Night Football, where the whole country's watching him again. If he feels like, hey, I need a drive or two just for me, then okay, I get it. But then here would be my caveat to that. I think if he's going to play any series, you have to have the entire starting unit out there with him. You can't Mark Sanchez this thing where you put him out there with backups, right? Like maybe Tyron Smith's the exception if Olu continues to play as well as he has, but I need Morgan Moses at right tackle. I need Garrett out there. I need everyone out there to make it feel real for Rodgers. So you put him in the best scenario to kind of get his mind right if he feels like he needs that actual game day rep in a preseason environment.
I think Duncan, I don't know, see the last name, but he mentioned that, I like to see his first contact being, I don't want his first contact against Sam. I've been saying this for a while. I said this, I just have had a change of heart the last week, as opposed to what I've been saying, honestly, for the last 5 months. And I'm perfectly willing to admit, I've changed my opinion on this. The only reason I think he's I've seen Rodgers in full pads run around with guys running at his legs, trying to get away from defenders and scrambling for a first down, doing different things, extending the play, looking comfortable in the pocket. Again, if mentally he needs that and he feels like, hey, I need to need to go to the ground once and get up, or I need X, Y, and Z, totally fair. If that's what he needs for a series, even if the series goes badly, do not push does not mean you push. But if Rodgers says, I feel really good, got my mental, that 5% he talked about in the beginning of camp, it's gone. I feel like I'm going in 100% to the San Francisco game. And I just wouldn't push it. And again, I would prefer them play any of the starters the second game, not the third. I know that's maybe a different take. That way, God forbid someone rolls an ankle, someone pulls a hamstring, someone tweaks a calf, someone does any of these different things that are 3 to 4 week injuries at most. Really, they're 2 weeks. You could come back the third type of thing. If someone does that on August 17th, it gives you almost a month before you play San Francisco, as opposed to the next week that happens. Now you're playing on a short week. Now it's because I'm just saying worst case that happens, right? Quincy Williams rolls an ankle and he's out for 2 weeks. He's still playing week 1. Quincy Williams rolls an ankle a week later, and now all of a sudden, week 1's maybe in question. So if you play anybody of importance, I would play them on week 2. And if you feel like everyone's good to go and you get enough out of these joint practices, they'll be able to see some talent here. I know these are 3 pretty bad teams, but there's also some ability to get better. The Jets did not look good against Carolina last year down in Carolina. That heat is very different. That's an extremely hard place to go down and practice in the middle of August. Jake, you lived in Texas for 6 years. It might not be Texas heat, but it's pretty damn close. And, that's in the middle of camp and going and staying at a terrible Marriott down there. I know exactly what's going to happen with this. So, again, I just feel like the Niners
great point by you. That's a great, because think about it. Carolina was the worst team in the league last year. They were making Rodgers run for his life in those joint practices to a point where Scala, who's the players coach, ripped the O-line on Hard Knocks.
Don't you think that's part of why they played in that third preseason game last year?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. And I think, to your point, the reason why they have 3 joint practices this year is because ideally they don't play anyone of significance, like Rodgers, of course. But I'm telling you, I know Saleh, Aaron said, it's Robert's decision. If Aaron Rodgers goes to Robert Saleh and says,
it's not Saleh's decision.
Yeah. If come on, you've catered to Aaron Rodgers since the day you made up your mind you were bringing him in. You're not going to stop now. If he says in year 20, hey, I feel like I need this to get ready, you're going to defer to your Hall of Fame quarterback. That's the right thing to do. So I'm with you there, Will. I guess my big question would be, which players aren't as established that will be getting a lot of playing time in the preseason? Like, we know Will McDonald will be out there, but is Clemens going to play in the preseason? Like, are we going to see Joe Tippmann in year 2 play in the preseason? Like, there's the established guys like Aaron Rodgers, Brees, Garrett Wilson. Like, you're not worried about them. Tyron Smith, Morgan Moses, but some of the kind of younger fringe guys, ascending players, I wonder, how often they get out there.
Let's go through the top 30 players in the roster really quick. I'll just go through. Rodgers, I would say 30% chance he plays anything, but likely won't see him if at all. It's maybe a series. Tyrod, I would say probably plays a combined 2 quarters at most. I think they try to get him some reps of something, but Tyrod gets hurt a lot. And I think
I don't want him to play on Saturday, by the way.
No, I don't either. And if they do, it's got to be like, he's got to know, buddy, get down. Like, do not need to be a hero. You're making this team. You're not competing for a starting job. Like, you are our backup. We need you. So there's him. Going to running back, I don't think you'll see Brees Hall at all. I'd actually be more shocked if you see Hall than Aaron Rodgers.
He doesn't need the preseason. I mean,
not only does he not need it, he's still working on an injury. He's on a rep count. So like, why in what world is he? He didn't play at all in OTAs. That was like a little weird, but that's a whole nother discussion. I don't want to think of it. If you not notice, it's a little weird. It's like, oh, Brees Hall's still ramping up. It's like, from what? Was he ramping up from?
Yeah. But he's looked great when he's been out there. They're just being
awesome.
cautious with him. Yeah. And I like it because Braylon Allen has made a lot of plays where I think he's clearly going to have a role in this offense.
I think you'll see Allen, but I don't think you'll see a ton of Braylon Allen. I think you'll see like him in spurts. I think you'll see a ton of Isaiah Davis. I think you'll see Izzy get like 60% of the reps. Like, I really do. I think like they're going to be like, show me something. Show us why we want to keep you on this team, because the Jets hate cutting draft picks. He's only in year 2. He did show flashes last year in the preseason. So I think the Jets are going to give him every opportunity to make this team and figure it out. I don't think you'll see Tyler Conklin much at all. Maybe you'll see him for 2 series in the last game. I doubt you'll see that much of Ruckert. Like, you'll see a little bit, but I don't think you'll see a ton. I think there'll be a ton of Zach Kuntz, Kenny Yeboah, and those guys. I think receiver-wise, I think Garrett is very similar to like Conklin in the sense of like maybe you get 2 series in the last game if Rodgers plays. If not, I don't even know if you need to. Lazard, I would say, will play at some point probably, but I don't think he'll play much. I think that he's still a veteran, and I think he's still Rodgers' boy. And if Rodgers isn't playing, I doubt you see Lazard. I think you'll see Malik Taylor a ton. I think you'll see a ton of Brownlee. I think you'll see a ton of Xavier Gibson. I think you'll see a crap ton of Malachi Corley, who should look really good against second and third stringers. Like, I'm sorry, he just should. I think you'll see offensive line-wise, Olu will probably play, 6 total series throughout the preseason. Again, you can't really risk Olu getting hurt either, because if Tyron Smith he's your number one insurance plan. I think you'll see a lot of Max Mitchell, a lot of Carter Warren. Tippmann,
I think Olu plays, by the way, on Saturday.
Olu probably should play. If you see Tyron Smith, I could be a total idiot, but like, this dude does not need to practice ever again in his life, let alone playing a preseason game. Tippmann, AVT, and Simpson, I'd like to see for a series or 2, just because guys are either coming off of injuries, new to the system, all those different things. Again, Mitchell and Warren, you'll see a lot of. Defensively, Quinnen, I prefer not to see at all. Everyone else on the defensive line, I don't have a problem with playing, and I think you'll see at points them play at least a little bit. Everybody else there is kind of competing for a spot. Jermaine is the other one, again, I guess maybe plays a series or 2. I think you'll see the starting defense play 2 series the third game. That's my guess. It'll be the one unit that plays. Other than that, I don't need to see Sauce. I don't need to see Reed. I definitely do not need to see CJ Mosley. He again, say these guys' legs, and a lot of Stiggers, a lot of JBC, a lot of Isaiah Oliver, a lot of Jaden Key. Ashton Davis should play some, but again, I just think there's not a lot of guys in this Jets team I need to see. I want to see a ton of the younger guys that we are in depth roles, McDonald, Corley, guys like that. But other than that, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to be a pessimist, but I don't know that their Jets are getting that much, especially with 3 joint practices, and they've gone full. I talked about this in the pod. I don't know if you got a chance to catch it, but the Jets have changed their whole practice plan this year, and they're practicing extremely differently. I don't know how many people, I'm sure a ton of your listeners have gone to camp. They've been in full pads a lot. That did not happen last year, and it did not happen the years prior. The Jets have kind of gone with the approach of really intense training camp. We'll take our bumps and bruises. We will take our guys getting quote unquote beat up a little bit in camp. They have about 10-day stretch from the end of the preseason until game week. They'll have that mini bye, and then they also play on a Monday night. They're hitting a lot. The whole point is take your bumps and bruises now. The body's ready for week 1. If that's the case, it makes me, again, feel like they do not need a ton of preseason work.
Totally fair. If you're watching live right now, hit the like button. There's 350 of you tuned in. There's only 136 likes. Well, I'm not good with numbers, but the math is not mathing, right?
The math is not math. That's girl math.
I mean, come on now. Hit the like button. Let's go. And appreciate everyone tuning in live. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, trying to get the 40,000 subs by week 1 of the Jet season. Make sure you guys subscribe to Will's podcast, Turn on the Jets. You can also check it out on the Badlands Podcast Network over on Patreon, and Will's on YouTube as well. So make sure you type in Will Parkinson and you subscribe to his YouTube channel. I want to remind everyone, and I said it yesterday, even with the cancellation of today's practice, we still have our event in East Hanover later tonight. Join me and Richie from Jets Media, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. BYOB, Jet fans. So if you're coming by, bring your own booze. We'll have some beers for you there, though, to certainly enjoy. The food is excellent. It's a good food place, Will, if Rex Ryan and Nick Mangold are regulars. That's all I'm going to say. Those 2 guys, I'm not calling them fat. I'm just saying they know how to eat, all right? They know how to eat. So we'll see you all at Don Jose's later tonight. We'll open up the Gustbuster hotline, so if you want to call in, now is the opportunity to do so. But first, let's pause because I want to tell you guys all about Circa's incredible sports betting, pro football betting contest.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select 1 team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
Very simple, folks. Circasports.com if you want in on either contest. $16 million in guaranteed prizes. We will be in Las Vegas broadcasting our show from Circa's Radio Row for contest weekend. At the end of August, I'll be out there from the 21st to the 24th. So if you're in the area, I'm planning an Asmaniac meetup at Circa for those who live in the Vegas area or who might be making the trip to Vegas for that weekend. Stay tuned for more on that. But more importantly, folks, book your stay at Circa. And if you want in on either of their contests, you heard it, circasports.com for all the information. Let's bring Will back on right now and continue with our show. We got some super chats to get into.
Felix.
But oh my God. He's done it again. Felix with a 20 spot. He did this yesterday, Will, and he never messaged me. I'm trying to send him basically my entire merch store for the amount of memberships he has gifted. But I mean, what else can I say other than this?
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Oh my God. Sound the alarms. Felix spending $100 to get 20 memberships for the people. Eric, Sace, Vero Beach, David Gruron, Christopher Phillips, Mike, Kevin Hayes, Recipes with Reed, Thomas Roseman, Chris Moses, Hype, Jet Strong, David White, Dallas James Santana, JoJo, Clap City, Tom Ruck, Jigga Man Porto, Willie D, all receiving channel members. One more, 1189 Paris. Wow, a 20 spot. And I do want to share this. We're about, I think, another 35, if my math is right, which is probably not, away from a new channel emoji. What I want to do, since one of our great listeners, Bobby Midnight, is still dealing with some issues with his feet. He's in the hospital right now getting treatment. I want to dedicate our next emoji to Bob. And since Bob's a capitalist, a portion of all the money raised we'll send to Bobby to hopefully lift his spirits a little bit up in the hospital. He said he loved this picture. Gator made this emoji. So the Bobby Midnight Cricket Lamp emoji will go into effect in about 30 or 35. I got to check memberships. So keep that in mind. We'll make sure we take good care of our favorite capitalist now, Bobby Midnight. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. Franco writes in, is it possible Michael Clemens might be good this year? Okay.
Sorry.
Not sold on him?
No, he's.
What would he have to do to change your mind?
Become less stiff, stop being a meme, and be better at football. I like Michael Clemens. I'm sure is well respected by his teammates, and I'm sure he is a good guy to have on the roster for special teams and occasional rotations. But he's not a very good football player, and especially in a system that prioritizes athleticism, quickness, explosion. He is not that player. So that's all. And he's also, unfortunately, I don't really care about it, but like it feels like all of the people that talk a lot of crap about the Jets, other players, all have to do with something Michael Clemens said. And I'm not just saying Deion Dawkins. It's like it's multiple times. So usually it's always like, oh, we respect everybody on that team except number 72. It's like, okay, that's usually not a great sign.
Keep it rolling here with your comments and questions. This one is from Gator, the great Gator McCluskey. Regarding the Reddick fines being close to $3 million if he misses all of the preseason, does that come off the Jets cap? Do the Jets retain those dollars? How can they benefit with the trade? They do not get that money, Gator. That goes to the NFL.
Yeah, it's not like they don't really. It's especially right now. Like if you look online, it'll say the Jets have like 20 million in cap space. It's because Reddick's on like the NFI list or whatever, so he like isn't counting against the cap. But as soon as he reports, it goes right back on the cap. Like it's not like. Reddick's just paying the NFL and then the Jets fines. Like it's not. This does not help the Jets at all. And they're going to reimburse whatever he gets fined anyways when he gets a new deal, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, some of it, but like he's still in theory never going to get.
He's not going to get the workout bonus from Philly and stuff like that. Like he'll get back anything the Jets have fined him, I'm sure.
Yeah, but the NFL fines of $50K a day. That's league wide. You know.
That's sucks.
I mean, that's where we're at right now. Speak of the devil, ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, live from what appears to be his hospital bed, is none other than our dear friend, Bob from Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, guys. How you doing? My hair's a little messy,
How you doing, man?
as you can see.
That's
How
okay.
you doing, Will, my pal? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm getting a lot better. My legs are looking better, they said. My
Good.
toes looking a lot better now. My nurse just put the medicine on my toe, so she thinks it looks even better than before. So
Good.
everything
Good,
looking
man.
good so far.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, it's good to see Will. Look at my hair, messy hair.
Where's your
It's not the-
Jake Asman show hat? You didn't bring it to the hospital with you?
No, I did not. No, I brought the jet hat. It's in the bag somewhere. I don't know where my bag is right now, so I have to find it
That's
somewhere in
okay.
this room. Yeah, but I'm here. Second day in a row, Jake, for you.
I love it.
I love it too. Nice to see. Gator called me this morning too, and Nick called me this morning too.
Yep, I
So,
checked in with them for
they
the
both-
update.
Yeah, they both called up this morning, and you got me on right away. That's normal.
Well, I mean, we wanted to
That's
hear
good.
from you, Bob. You're in the hospital. Everyone's asking me for an update. So I'm like, rather than me share what I know, let's have you tell the people
Yeah.
what you know.
Yeah, well, the lady the nurse just did my toes. She says, with the medicine, it's going to look better now. I don't know what the name of the medicine is. It's good stuff, they said.
That's good. Well, I'll tell you what, you got to take your medicine. That's the key. All right.
Yes, I'm going to kick myself every day. Well, I do it on your show in front of everybody.
I love it.
How's that? Make myself honest man.
We'll live stream
Well,
you taking your medicine.
Good. You went to training camp today, Will?
Not today. I'll be there tomorrow.
Oh, not today.
I'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, today.
I like Brendan Allen. That's my best guy.
Yeah,
I like him. He's a monster.
Hey, Bobby,
our
next emoji is going to be this one in honor of you.
What about, what's it called? You got to give Robbie Sabo his.
Well, we want one for you so to help you make you feel better.
I got plenty of me. I got one in the chair, and I got one with the hats.
Yeah.
You could get rid of one of the hats and give Robbie Sabo one.
You want Robbie Sabo?
And then you gotta get Will Parcells too. Will Parsons, get one too.
Well, are you
when
related
is my
to the
friend coming
former
on?
Hall of Fame coach?
Yeah, it's.
No, I meant the guy right next, in between us. That guy, Will.
I know who.
So when is that guy Rudy coming on?
Who's Rudy?
The guy who looks like Rudy. You know, our friend from Las Vegas.
Jeff Parles?
Yes. When is he coming on?
When the season starts.
Doesn't he look like the guy from Rudy? He does, doesn't he?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. He's boyfriend with.
You can start a Rudy chant next time he comes on.
Rudy,
yeah, I do
Rudy.
all the time. Yeah, Becky. He's a boyfriend of Becky's on the Connors now. Yeah,
well, Bobby,
Connors.
You stay healthy, all right? Take your medicine.
Okay.
Listen to your
nurses. I will.
And the doctor.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's weird seeing you without a hat. It's still very bizarre.
I know. It looks weird.
All right.
Well, everybody have a good day. I'm in a chair. I'm in a recliner.
Good. You got to elevate the leg,
I love my. Yeah, I got the elevated leg. Yep, everything's going good.
All right,
okay, bye everybody.
Bye, Bobby.
Have a good day.
Well, I need to walk more to survive unless Jake is going live. Gotta elevate my leg. I'm Bobby.
Leg elevation, Bobby. That's the key. Some housekeeping here. We're going to get to what Big Fella just did in a second. Rat Diddy says we still need 3 folks in the Jake Asman High Stakes Fantasy Football League. Let's go. Rat Diddy, I guess you haven't checked this morning. The league is filled. 12 people are in. Done. Thanks for the super chat, though, my man. I'll see you in Vegas. Felix says, where do I DM you, Jake? Get better, Bobby. Felix, do me a favor. DM me on Twitter at Jake Asman or Instagram at Jake Asman or email me, whatever is easier for you. My email is in the description for this video, but it's just my last name, first name at Gmail. And I'm getting you some merch, my man. The Big Fella making it rain, folks. Sound the alarms. All right, here we go. A 10 spot of channel memberships courtesy of the incomparable Big Fella. Peter, Nick Russo, Jay Savage, Mark Goldstein, Andrew Calderon, Ashwin Nadajan, ASOXO, and John, also receiving memberships, Tom Murray and Jonathan. Congratulations to all our channel members as we continue our conversation now with former Giants, Patriots, Jets, and Cowboys head coach Will Parcells. Will, let me see what I got here. Ricky writes in, Jets players, nobody's even mentioning Reddick unless they're asked point blank. The Jets are truly only worried about the guys who are there. I don't think it's been a distraction internally. It will become a distraction if he's not there for week 1, though.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. I don't have much to add there other than the Jets are smart about, these players are smart about, they know if they start mentioning Reddick, it becomes a distraction. So.
No doubt. As far as Tippmann goes, Will, I want to get your thoughts on that. Based on all the reports yesterday, clean practice from him. I'm not worried about the snapping stuff. I think he's too good of a player. He'll get it figured out. What are your thoughts on the Joe Tippmann snap situation?
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned. I am a little concerned only in the aspect of if it continues to keep creeping up every 3 or 4 days, it's like a day where it torpedoes the reps of the practice. Look, I mean, you were there Saturday. I think I was concerned leaving practice Saturday because I was there Monday. It was awful. Tuesday, it was somewhat of still of a problem. By Thursday, it kind of started to get better. And then fans are out there Saturday and, Jets are driving the first drive down there. I think 11-play drive, 3rd down and 5 or 6. And Tippmann snapped it 30 yards over Rodgers' head. And it's like that stuff can't happen. That said, it seems like it's been fine, since Saturday. And if it's fine tomorrow, it's fine in any of the preseason games. It'll stop being a thing. Feels like he mostly just has the yips. I talked to a couple of people that scout the Big Ten for other NFL teams, and they all said, that wasn't an issue in college. So it just kind of felt like maybe he had the yips, and hopefully that's, done now. But it's not like it's been all over the place, left, right, on the ground. It's just they're all high. So getting that corrected a little bit, and, the Jets should be good to go. But the sooner it's not a talking point, the better, for this offense.
Felix wrote in with the super chat. How many more do we need for the Bobby meme, bro? For the Bobby Edgemo, or emoji, as we refer to it as on this show. I just checked 24 channel members away, and we will add the Bobby emoji to celebrate our friend. And then we'll get a Sabo emoji too. We'll work on that. I don't have that ready though. So too bad, Bobby. You're getting your own emoji because you're the one who's in the hospital. So you got to deal with it. Will, final question. And I'll ask you this a couple of times before the season starts. A little vibe check. Predict the Jets record.
Ooh. Vibes are mostly pretty high right now. I'm gonna stick with 11-6. That's kind of where I keep landing. I think in some days you could talk me to 12-5. Some days you could talk me to 10-7. I'm gonna stick with 11-6 right now. I will say the Niners likely losing Brandon Ayuk today, and although now he's gonna go to Pittsburgh, which is obviously the Jets are playing as well, and McCaffrey being with a pulled calf already. I don't know. I'm starting to get weird 2029er vibes where like things just all fall apart for them. This happens like every 3 years for the Niners where like they're amazing, but like for some reason they have the worst luck ever. They're already Greenlaw. Unless I'm mistaken, there's no way Dre Greenlaw is playing on a torn Achilles, after 5 months. I don't know. I still think 11-6 is where I'm going to land. I think Miami's going to be a 10-win team, 9 or 10-win team, potentially could get to 11. I think Buffalo is probably a 10-win team also. I think the Jets win the division at this moment, but if Reddick continues to not participate and the Jets suffer any type of issues, maybe I'll change, but right now 11-6 is where I'm at.
That's a fair assessment. I'm still at 12-5, AFC's champions.
Beers in the parking lot.
See you there, baby. See you there. Will, great to check in with you, man. I will see you in person tomorrow.
Yes.
Assuming this practice for the fans is still open. If it's not, then I'm going to have to call up my friends in the Jets PR department and say, I need to be media for the day because I'm going to Jersey anyway.
I was going to say, call them up. Give them a ring.
That's right. Will, talk to you soon, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Will Parkinson, turn on the Jets, subscribe to his YouTube channel, listen to the podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify. You can check out his work as well on the Badlands feed, which is part of Patreon. Reminder, Will brought up how he thinks, hey, maybe the Jets should play some of their starters in the Panthers game. So in case there is an injury, they still have some time to get ready for the season. Well, I'll tell you what, if that does happen, it's going to add a lot of intrigue to our big watch party on August 17th. That's 1 week from this Saturday, baby. Make sure you're RSVP with the link I have in the description. It's a free event. All are invited. 6:30, we start partying. 7 o'clock is the game. We're going to be raffling off a Garrett Wilson signed football, thanks to my friends at ESPN New York. They're also going to be there giving out ESPN swag. I'll be there giving out some Asmaniac swag, doing meet and greets with listeners. We'll have drink specials, food specials. It's going to be a blast. So look forward to hanging out with everyone at T Squared Social 1 week from this Saturday, the first ever Asmaniac watch party. First of many, folks. It's going to be a wild season. Oh, my God. Felix, are you kidding me, brother? 20 more channel memberships. Folks, we haven't seen anything like this in a very, very long time. This is unbelievable.
Money, 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 money.
I mean, what else is there to say? Holy crap. Here we go. 20 memberships. Do I hear something? Is that rain? Oh, that's right. It's raining memberships. Here we go. 20 from Felix. JC Wink. Green Bean Jets fan. Shout out to Green Bean. JT99. Jack Brooks. Brendy Cherry. Chris 2485. Isaiah Russell. Attic. TJ Begg. Steven Kinslow. Alex. Paul Taxter. Rick Hayen. Mrs. Rogers. Big Bunda. Scott Atkins. Fab 5. Def F1. TJ Butter Garrett, Edwin Cabin, John Levinson, all receiving channel memberships. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not done because now a 5 spot has come through the pipeline from NY Cursor. Let's go, NY. Here we go. 5 more, and then it's emoji upload time if YouTube lets me do it. Orlando Arigaga, 2 a.m. Burrito, East Stack Fishing, Jersey Jets, Duarte Lot. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys are all officially as Maniacs. Here's what we're going to do right now. Let's get your calls involved with the show. Gusbuster Hotline is open to join the show, to call in. You click the link that's pinned in the live comment section to be a part of the show. While people join the phone lines, I'm going to play you something that I teased yesterday was coming. Aaron Rodgers did something awesome for one of his biggest fans. If you guys remembered earlier this offseason, we had a guy on who's gone viral on social media for being the ultimate Aaron Rodgers impersonator. The nickname the guy has for his channel is Rodgers Realm. We had that guy on. Based in Wisconsin, big Packers fan. Now he's an Aaron Rodgers Jets fan. The Jets invited him to camp yesterday, where he finally got the chance to meet Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, dude, I love you. I love whole life, man. I love the mustache. Green 18! Green 18, out! Hey, can, 50, rat tail. Blue 58, blue 57. Hey!
That's a solid 8. No, I'll give you a 10.
That's pretty good. I'll give it a 7.
Okay, it can be better. I might be one. They told me.
Awesome. I've been seeing you all the time on my FYP.
Really?
Yeah. Every once in a while.
You got cadence right, all right? You might be off by a number on both.
Dude.
Yeah, I watched the videos.
Is it 18 or 19?
It's 19.
Oh, it's 19. There it is. It's 19. Hey, absolute honor. This is the best day.
I love your guitar players.
You saw that? You saw that?
I like this.
Nice. You got to get the chin tuck a little exaggeration.
Yeah.
So,
and I saw stickers. Check.
Huh?
You said stickers, I think, didn't you?
Snickers.
I said stickers.
Stickers?
Yes.
Thank you. I needed to know that. Yes.
So we're going to get you right. It's 18 and stickers. And then what's the blue numbers?
Blue 58. I appreciate the hell out of it, man. This has been awesome. Yesterday when you were walking by, I had the stomach was turning up. Thanks to the Jets. Eternally grateful. Couldn't imagine a better day.
Awesome job by Rodgers, the Jets, and Rodgers Realm. That's awesome. By the way, I'm so glad Rodgers confirmed it's Green 19 with the cadence, because I always thought it was Green 19 growing up watching Aaron Rodgers, right? I mean, this guy was my fantasy quarterback more than anyone ever. Like, I've always been a Rodgers fan. I always thought it was Green 19. But then when I started watching Rodgers Realm's videos and he was saying Green 18, I go, maybe I'm just hearing it wrong. So I never say anything. I'm like, of course it's Green 18. This guy's doing it. So I love that Aaron confirmed it's actually Green 19 and it's Blue 58. I love that. So now we got the clear confirmation on what the cadence is. Green 19, Green 19, right? And then Blue 58, right? Like, that was awesome. But there's Aaron Rodgers again being a bad guy, bad role model, bad teammate. Such nonsense. Such nonsense. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane train is in the house. Lane, if you call in, we put you right to the front of the line. How do you feel about Alan Laser for the Jets? Look, I'm not familiar with his work, but if you tell me he's good, I'm in. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane train. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to announce that if you check the emojis, if you refresh the browser, if you're a confirmed channel member, if you are a Asmaniac, you will notice the Bobby Lamp emoji has been inserted into the emoji lineup. So shout out to everyone who gifted a membership to make it happen, especially to Felix Campos, who over the last 2 days has gifted more memberships in a 2-day span than I think maybe anyone. Incredible. Right there with some of our best membership gifters, Mike D's Nuts, King and Dreams, Cincy Matt, Steve M. Too many to name. Hit the like button. if you're tuned in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue with the show. We get to your calls. Darren's free super chat for being an Asmaniac. Pay Carter and let Reddick sweat it out while he loses millions and fires his agent. Eventually, I think Haason will show up, but you don't want a disgruntled player. Can you find a compromise where he's not totally pissed off, where he feels like he got something out of this holdout, and the Jets feel like they have a player who wants to be in their building who's going to help them win? That's what you're hoping to do. Is it possible to do that? Look, I'm surprised we've gotten this far with the holdout. I am, but I still think there'll be some sort of solution coming. I don't think he's missing regular season games. If he does, then I've been dead wrong the whole time, but I don't see it. Ladies and gentlemen, we open up the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline right now, and we bring on someone who always brings it.
B-Mac. Look at my TV. B-Mac. I love Aaron Rodgers. Jets. Go Jets.
Hello, B-Mac.
Hey, Jake. How's my connection? Is it good?
It's passable to get through this call.
All right. Well, I bought new headphones, so maybe that will fix the problem. But I'm gonna make it quick. First of all, Lane is funny. Alan Laser. You know what I mean? So Lane, you the man. And then the other thing is that shout out to Rodgers for making his biggest fan, Rodgers, from making his day. And then the other thing is another shout out to Rodgers for getting me into the song "My Hero" by Foo Fighters. Love the song, and Rodgers, I love you even more now. So, yeah.
Hey, B-Mac, Tom Ace has a pro tip for you. New headphones does not fix your Wi-Fi.
Well, hey, I mean, at least I can give it a shot. So
I didn't hear a word you said there.
At least I can give it a try.
Well, look, appreciate you calling in, B-Mac. We will get to the bottom of this internet stuff because you're going full Ricky NY on us.
B-Mac. Hey, you hater guy. Allen sucks and JJ can kiss my ass before I wipe.
Thank you, B-Mac. Excellent call. Love the support. Love the jet hat. Big fella with a super chat. Jake, when you get enough memberships, does YouTube give you another emoji slot, or do they just allow you to replace an emoji? So it's both depending on how many channel members we have, big fella. So when you hit a threshold, you can replace an existing emoji, but I can't add new ones because we're still down so many. Like, you never lose an emoji that's set, but I can't add new ones unless we get like way more memberships because so many have expired that we're not caught up to the X amount. The way they do the emojis, you guys have heard me complain about this for a year already. It's beyond stupid. You should be able to upload whatever you want. That would encourage more people to join. But I digress. So I sometimes have to replace stuff. Sometimes I can add a new one. But I don't replace the ones that we use the most. And, what's great is, we have like Rick Kent, who's like, we're basically like renting his emoji for the time being. He doesn't want it. Or like V-Man didn't want 2, so I got rid of 1 months ago. So he only has 1 right now. So it kind of depends. Lucas says, need a lane call. We're always looking for a lane call. Hector writes in, that intro is so lame. Hector, how dare you? That intro is beyond funny. The Law and Order theme for BMAC, who always has Law and Order on behind him at all times. You think that's lame? Give me a break. I think you're lame.
Into the shadow realm you go.
Come on with the Jets nonsense. But I honestly think that Daniel Jones is going to have a better season than Aaron Rodgers.
You know what's funny about that Shadow Realm clip of Tiki? I guess technically he wasn't wrong. because Daniel Jones, I guess, played more than Rodgers. But then Daniel Jones was so damn bad, his entire franchise spent all offseason on Hard Knocks trying to replace him. Lane checks in. This is a hot take, Lane. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to start week 1. I'll tell you what. That would not be good, Lane, because that would mean he got hurt. Unless you're referring to week 1 of the preseason, which is Saturday. And if that is the case, then Lane, you genius, you've done it again. The Lane train, everybody. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. There's 334 of you watching, only 210 likes. The math is not mathing. Ladies and gentlemen, I announced it earlier if you're tuning in late. On Friday at 9 a.m., we're dropping the 4% female demo merch in the store. The Asmaniac and Jake Asman Show logo in pink in any style you want it. Hoodies, T-shirts, etc. So to honor our 4% female demographic, I'm excited to say that Jay Graves is on the line, and she joins us now. Hello, Jay Graves.
Oh, hi. I want to say hi to Bobby. Feel better. Take your damn meds. I used to work in a behavioral hospital, but same thing applies. People say, oh, I started feeling better, so I stopped taking my meds. You're feeling better because you're on your meds.
Right.
Don't stop them, Bobby. I'm coming for you.
It's true. It's true.
And also, Jake, I got a little beef with you since we're going to a Mexican restaurant tonight. How in the loving of Texas did you? I lived in Texas for 4 years. I went to Texas State in San Marvelous. I'm sure you know that area.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How do you go to Chipotle when you have a mom and pop Tex-Mex joint every other block in Texas, and your ass is going to Chipotle? Please explain that.
So I can explain it because I view Chipotle in a separate category than a mom and pop
like
Mexican
fast
place.
food, right?
Like it's basically like it's fast food adjacent. It's like quick
Right.
food. You know, like you go to Chipotle, I'm in and out, I get my and I get it to go. If I go to a mom and pop Mexican place, like I'm sitting down, I'm having a full meal. I'm getting I'm getting a Corona. I'm getting guac as an appetizer.
Wait, are you getting your Corona dressed?
Oh, of course.
When I learned that, I moved down there to get dressed. I'm like, what the hell is that? Should we tell the people what it means, or should we keep it a secret?
Now,
All right, so
well, it's up to you. If you want to hide the info, that's fine by me. Whatever you want to do.
I will tell the people because I feel like the Jersey peeps need to know because I put my friends on this. So a dressed Corona in Texas, not only do you get the lime, but you get salt on the neck of the bottle and tahini if you want it too. I'm a big tahini girl, so you always get your Corona dressed.
That's right. That's right.
But so for my fast food Mexican, I'm a Taco Bell girl. I feel like Taco Bell is more fast foody than Chipotle.
It is. Well, if you want like fast food, then like, Taco Bell is.
I'm also a Crunchwrap girl, so that's like that's my go-to.
Taco Bell, I haven't had it since I moved back to New York. It was always in my rotation of late night need fast food. T-Bell was my go-to. I lived right near one too in Houston, so I was there all the time.
Yeah. But whenever you was in Chipotle, I'm like, dude, you're in Texas.
It's different. Now you understand though.
I know, and I do. I get it. But some people like legit they like it better. I'm like, what do you mean you like it? I mean, you're in Texas.
Yeah. No, the best Mexican food I've ever had is obviously in Houston. I could give you so many great places, but it's like here's the equivalent, right? People have asked me about the food in New York, and I'm like, I'm having so much pizza. And they're like, what's your favorite spot? I'm like, anything I'm having here is better than anything I had for 6 years living in Texas. So you can't even compare it. It's the worst Mexican place in Houston is probably the best you'll find in New York. Like that's the equivalent.
Yeah. Although I will say, for the Italian places or pizza joints, I moved to Austin first. So my cousin lived there, and I moved down to San Marcos into my first semester. And a place on Congress, they're dudes from New York, and they make I think it's called pies. And actually, that's another funny story. I worked at Kohl's. I did a lot of retail growing up, and we were doing overnight stocking or inventory or something, and we were ordering pizzas. Somebody goes, how many should we get? I'm like, I don't know, get 5 or 6 pies. They're like, we're getting pizza. I'm like, yeah, pizza pies. They had never heard of they thought a pie, like Thanksgiving pie. I'm like, no, a pizza is a pie.
Yeah, It's crazy to me.
But
That's
that's all
great.
I got. Looking forward to seeing you tonight for some authentic Mexican. I'm
Let's
bringing
go.
margarita. I'm good to go. We're having a good time.
BYOB, Jay Graves. BYOB.
Yep. Or buy these little they're I don't know, they're like $10. They're like a little double shot margarita, and I get the spicy pineapple one. So I'm bringing that tonight.
I love it. Jay Graves, see you tonight. Thanks for coming.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Graves will be in the house tonight. You can too. I think there's a couple spots left if you want to RSVP. Unfortunately, a couple of people last night had to cancel, so they opened up their spot for more people if you want to go. So we still have a few left. It's only 50 total people. It's an intimate environment at Don Jose Mexican Restaurant. It's going to be awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, I got some controversy I have to address in the chat right now. But first, Dan the Jet fan is paying it forward. He is gifting a channel membership to who? Let's find out. Lenny Malice receiving the membership from Dan the Jet fan. If you want to pay it forward, it's just $5 to give someone a channel membership, less than the cost of a cup of coffee, which is crazy, but true. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Van with a suggestion for the merch store. Jake, Carly, I need a 24-ounce beer koozie for trips to Yankee Stadium. I got to look into that for you, Lee. I don't know the size options we have. We do have 2 koozies up there in the store right now. One that is a slim can fit for like a High Noon or White Claw, like this one right here. And then they have the standard, 12-ounce Bud Light can koozie in the store. But we can look into that for you, Lee. Appreciate the support. M. King says, have a great time tonight, Asmaniacs. Yeah. It's going to be wild. All right, here's the controversy I have to address. Lane writes in, the Lane train. Charles is weird. Why does he call on the talk about the Jets and this get off your call phone and go to sleep? Now, it appears like Lane is going after Charles, but I'm not sure what exactly he's going after him for. He called him weird, calls him to talk about the Jets, and this get off your call phone and go to sleep. But then it almost sounds like he's talking about V-Man sleeping at the end of his comment here. Now, I want to make this clear. I am big fans of both Lane and Charles, so this comment disturbs me, Lane. Call in. Let's get to the bottom of this. Ladies and gentlemen, M. King, about a 5 spot of channel memberships. You kidding me? Look what's happening here. In honor of the Gorman, we'll give you some chewing. Just kidding. Here we go. All right, B. Stokes, a Rose Streams Homestead, Brandon Fry, Kick and Pickles, Dan NY, all receiving channel memberships. Welcome, welcome, welcome. M. King, thank you very much. We've added 62 in this show. You kidding me? You kidding me? Pittsburgh Mike writes in, we're beating the Niners week 1. I'm locking in that money line bet. From your lips to God's ears, Mike. I'll tell you what, McCaffrey doesn't play. Ayuk's traded. By that night, I'll be picking the Jets too. More calls right now. This guy heard Jay Graves mention Texas and immediately had to call in. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary at 3D Boxing. He boxes in 3 dimensions. Hello, Gary.
I'm so utterly confused. That was a really good call by Jay Graves. She says she went to Texas State.
I believe that's what she said. Yep.
That's kind of like college where you go to have fun for 4 years. Everyone in Texas has a friend that went to Texas State, and everyone went there and had the best weekend of their life. That is about the most fun school in the whole wide world to go to. I thought she went to Hofstra. Was I wrong about that?
I don't know, Gary. I can't keep track where everyone went to school.
Okay, fair enough. And she had an interesting take. I didn't hear your answer, but I wanted to agree with you. I tried telling someone that the dollar slices you get in Manhattan is better than any pizza I've ever had in Texas. And they tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, no, I'm literally being serious. The dollar slices in New York are better than the best pizza that you'll get in Texas.
Yeah. No, I actually agree with that take.
I tell people that they think I'm being.
Well, they don't believe you because your other takes are horrendous. It's like the boy who cried wolf. Like your takes have been so bad that no one's actually going to think that you're actually correct with one of your takes for once.
Well, I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
That's what Steve Asman says all the time. Or here's another Steve Asman, catchphrase or Steveism. Even a blind squirrel can find a nut.
It's true. Then I want to get to the next.
Hold on 1 second, Gary. I got breaking news.
There
Lane
you go.
Train, he wrote in, I had pizza last night. Let's go, Lane. There we go.
Lane is a Long Island guy, right? Lane lives on Long Island?
I don't know if he's Long Island. I think he's either Jersey or Westchester. I don't know. I don't think he's Long Island.
All right. Well, put in the chat where you got it and then give it a grade. I'll decide if I want to go there next time I'm in New York. I'm interested. I'm taking all pizza reviews. And like before I go to New York would be good, not after I come back, like Bang Mateo. Like that's 2 minutes too late. But the Mexican food thing. And this is kind of what I talked about when I was saying like chicken parm is Italian American food. They'll tell you in Mexico that what you eat in Texas is Tex-Mex. It's not Mexican food. There's too much black beans, right? And that's not really Mexican food. But I didn't hear your answer. What was your answer for always going to Chipotle instead of a local Mexican joint? Is it just convenience and time?
It's different. It's not really like a Mexican place in my eyes. Like it's quick food. It's like you get a bowl with chicken, steak. It's not like you're sitting down and like when I go to a Mexican place, like tonight, I'm not going to get a bowl like when I go to a Mexican restaurant,
sure,
right?
yeah.
Like I'm going to get, an enchilada platter. I want the rice and the beans, I want, or there's my favorite place in Houston for Mexican food actually invented the fajita. Like that's what they're known for, the original ninfas in Houston. So like you get different things at local Mexican places versus Chipotle where I'm going in to get my bowl, holding my server accountable and getting out of there as quickly as I can.
This is fajitas and nachos really aren't Mexican food. They're Tex-Mex. They're American.
Yes.
I learned that too. Now that's the reason. So Chipotle is more of it's a quality food inconvenience as opposed to it's just more convenience than anything else, right? Like you like it and it's convenient, so it's just easy to go to.
Yeah. Why does this matter to you so much?
I don't know. I was really intrigued by the call. I like food calls in general. And I was intrigued by the call. And then when
I'll just get out of your way. Jay Graves is on the line. I'll let you
Jay
talk.
Graves.
And all right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks.
Yes, I was calling to talk to you. So yes, I did go to Hofstra. But I'll be 40 in January. So when I was 18, like out the gate from high school, went to Hofstra, dropped out after a year because it wasn't for me. And then went back to college later in life. So I was in Texas. I was there from 2012 to like 2016.
Did you ever float the Guadalupe when you were in San Marco?
Wait, what's the water park too? Like New Braunfels. The German one. What's that water park? You know what I'm talking about.
I'll think.
It's on the river because they have the lazy river.
Oh, it's like Schlitterbahn or whatever.
Yeah, Schlitterbahn. Yeah. Yes, I've been there. Been to a Buc-ee's. Love Whataburger. You gotta say Whataburger, not what a burger.
Well,
I
was born in New York and lived there till I was 10, and my parents are from New York, so I get.
My aunt, all my family's from Jersey, but I happen to have one aunt and cousin that were down in Austin. And it was cheaper to go to Texas than it was to stay in Jersey and go to Rutgers.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac.
All right, we'll let you two take it off air. Do it in the Discord. So the 356 of you still watching, God bless. Thank you. Gary derailing another call. I will say this. This comment is so spot on. R&R. It's hilarious when Gary learns something new. He thinks it's the first time everybody learned it. That is Gary to a T. That is the most accurate breakdown of the Gary experience I have ever heard. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane train writes in Jets. Lane, we're still trying to figure out why you and Gorman have beef, if you could let us know. But joining us right now is someone who needs no introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Felix Campos is on the line. What's up, Felix?
What's going on, Jake?
Felix, man, what's gotten into you, man? You got like Haason Reddick money, man. We got you. We should have you sign Reddick.
No, man, I just appreciate your content, man. When I first moved to Texas, man, I started watching you 3 years ago and 4 years now. And, you introduced me to Jets fans in Houston, man. And it was great, man. And I've been watching you ever since. And man, I love the content, man. And Gary's a funny dude, man. I mean, God, dog, boy, I tell you. And I just want to say, man, Bobby, take care of yourself, man. I'm praying for you, brother, man. Take your damn meds, man. Your meds are important, brother.
Amen. Amen. Felix, how are we feeling about the Jets, though? I mean, you're in a good mood. The memberships are flowing. I mean,
listen. I got, I've been a Jet fan for 30-something years, man. Since I was a kid, I got pictures of me when I was probably 4 or 5 years old, walking around with a Jets helmet, looking like a bobblehead, And I've been, we've been through so much. I just want us to get into a Super Bowl, man. I really have high expectations for us this year. The main key is health. We have to stay healthy. We stay healthy, sky's the limit. We have all the talent in the world on both sides of the line. We have talent, the most talent I've seen in years. And I believe in Robert Saleh. I think he's a good coach. I think this year he's going to show a big leap. I have faith. Like I said, if we can stay healthy, sky's the limit.
I love it. Yeah, look, honestly, there's going to be injuries. Every team deals with it. If Aaron plays, let's say 14 or 15 games, this is at the bare minimum a playoff team. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, if he does, football gods, let him get hurt early. So at the end, he's healthy, get us into the playoffs and make noise, Same thing with Tyron Smith. And, if he's going to get hurt, let him get hurt earlier. We need him in the playoffs. Let's go into the playoffs healthy. And I think if we can go into the playoffs healthy, man, listen, we can shock the world.
I love it. Now, Felix, here's what I need you to do, all right? I need you to message me or email me your address and your T-shirt size so I can hook you up with some merch in the store, man. I mean, we got to get you.
I got you. Yeah, I just started following you on Instagram. I tried to message you on Instagram yesterday, but it said you had to accept you had to accept me as or follow me too for us to message. I don't know, some crazy stuff like that, but
I'll look for it. You know what you can do in the private chat here? Drop your info there and I'll take care of it. All right.
All right. Got you, man. Jay, good pleasure talking to you, brother. Be good.
Likewise, man. Thanks for all the memberships, dude. Really means a lot.
All right, brother. No problem, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, Felix Campos checking in. Love it. Salute to Felix. Last couple of days, he has basically single-handedly provided the memberships for the Asmaniacs. John writes in, is tomorrow's practice definitely on? I can't say it's definitely on. I can tell you that the forecast for tomorrow is obviously not as dire as it was for today, where the Jets already at this time, 24 hours ago, canceled the practice. I would expect the practice to go on tomorrow, but I'm not a weather person. I can tell you that if you need an umbrella, go to gusbuster.com and use promo code Jake. I can tell you that. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Thanks to everyone who's watching the show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A couple spots remain for tonight's meetup, regardless of the weather. We're going to hang out. We're going to enjoy the greatness of Don Jose Mexican Restaurant. And I'm going to walk in and say, give me the Nick Mangold. Or give me the Sexy Rexy. They're going to say, sir, you want the whole place, the whole menu? I'm going to say yes. I'm assuming this was when Rex was vintage Rex, like 2009 pre-lap band Rex. Just trying to catch up with some comments here. A lot of people reacting to the Gary call. Shocking. Also, Lane is confirmed Long Island, so I stand corrected. I don't know why I didn't think he was Strong Island. Unless Lane's pulling a fast one on us. Now, Lane might be a weatherman. He writes in, it's going to rain on Thursday. Thank you, Lane. Lane says the Jets have to win. They better. Nate writes in, like when Gary discovered dogs are pets. That was an all-time Gary moment too, Nate. And Gary called in to let us know that, man, who knew dogs are such a great pet? Who knew? Mike the Stat Guy says, Will McDonald needs to eat more Chipotle. See, here's the thing, though, Mike. Chipotle can be pretty healthy depending on what you get. Talking about protein, rice, beans. if you get tons of sour cream, if you get tons of guac, yeah, you could obviously, fatify it, if you will. But you could go to Chipotle and eat pretty healthy if you want. So we will see. All right. What questions about the Jets or anything related do you guys have? A little rapid fire at the end. We got open phone lines. No one's on hold right now. So if anyone wants in, now's your chance to be on the show quickly. All right. That's the bottom line. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy I will be seeing tonight has called in. Ladies and gentlemen, we met. I already forget. Was it his best man or his best friend? Someone was someone's best man at the wedding. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nick T. Hello, Nick.
He's my best friend, buddy. But
okay, so he was your best man?
I was his best man.
That's what it was. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's my best friend. In my wedding, we did family only in the bridal party.
Got it. All right. I'll definitely forget it by your next call, but welcome aboard.
Well, listen, I'll remind you tonight when I put you through a table.
Like, you gonna give me one of those wrestling moves or whatever?
Yeah.
You're gonna go Nick Shine on me like what Nick was doing to the 8-year-olds trying to get Brees Hall's autograph on Saturday.
I don't think anyone can go Nick Shine. That's some great skill, stiff arm. Brees Hall and these running backs need to take some lessons from his stiff arm ability. But yeah, I'm real excited. Pumped to see you tonight. Looking forward to it. I don't know. Honestly, the Mexican thing, Rex Ryan was eating a lot of Mexican. My brother-in-law's father has a restaurant, and Rex Ryan was attending there a lot even after the left ban. So I don't know. I don't think his diet changed really that much.
Well, you still could eat. You just don't eat as much as you once did.
Yeah, you get physically sick, but yeah, you're still putting it back at that point in time. Hey, so speaking of people that may have weight issues, I thought it was interesting. I shouldn't speak, but J.C. Latham. I don't know if you heard that report that came out recently that they think Latham is actually a little bit behind in his development there in Tennessee.
I have not heard that, but I don't think we should be that surprised because he was very raw as a prospect.
Yeah, I just thought, it's an interesting scenario where, like, it's one of those rare situations where it's almost immediate gratification. It's like, again, it's still a long way with their career, but, we were talking about the tackles, and Latham was one of the tackles that everyone had, right next to Fashanu and Fontenot too, as well as guys who could fall to 10. So I just think it's real interesting that, now we're seeing this come out, and Callahan is the greatest offensive line coach probably right now in the NFL. So to hear those reports come out, it's real interesting. It's just again, like going back, I forget who it was. I think it was Neil the other day called in. It's like things are going seemingly right, even in training camp, the right way that you want them to go. So I'm real happy with how the team's progressing and everything else. And even the BS with Rodgers and Wilson, you want them to argue right now. I want them arguing and having heated discussions right now because it's better now than in the season when you need to win the games.
Yeah.
So, correct the issues now.
Well, I also think even calling it arguing is not even like accurate. You know what I mean? Like I think the media tried to paint it as that, and it's like it's two guys who are passionate, having an animated discussion. Like they're on the same team. Like they ended one of them that went viral, like dapping each other up. Like Garrett wants to win, and Aaron loves how competitive Garrett is. Like he sees a lot of Devontae in him, which is what you love.
Exactly, and that's that competitive juice that you need right now in training camp for a team that's got Super Bowl aspirations. So I'm excited. Look forward to it. I'm looking forward to. I don't want Ayuk going to New England at all. I'd rather see him somehow. I'd rather see him in Pittsburgh. But
what's he getting traded for? Is it still 2 third-round picks?
Well,
how convenient we lose Nick T right when we were about to expose his horrendous Ayuk take. Let's see if we can get him back. He gone. 2 third-round picks. He's going for at least a first. I'd be surprised if it's not a first and then some. I mean, and look, I don't want him to go to New England, but if he goes to New England, at least for this year, he doesn't move the needle until New England has a good quarterback. The Jets have had, a top 10 level receiver in Garrett Wilson the last 2 years. And guess what? It hasn't mattered because he's had the worst collection of quarterbacks thrown to him. Now, that said, he's not going to New England because Ayuk basically could have went to New England. New England made an offer. The offer was accepted by the Niners. However, Ayuk didn't want to agree to a contract with New England because he didn't want to play there. because they're bad at football. How nice is that? Let's go back to Nick. Nick, what's Brandon Ayuk going for? 2/3?
First off, the reports came out that they right before the draft, the 34th pick, they got offered for him. So look back on that. Right before the draft, it was New England already offered the 34th. So facts are facts, I guess. Whatever. So it's going to happen. It's not going to be a 1. And the rumors that this trade included Kendrick Bourne and draft capital. So I'm expecting it to be a mid-round pick.
So you think it's going to be a 3rd-round pick?
No, I think it's going to be a 2, which is what I've told you all along after the Diggs trade.
You think it's going to be a 2?
Yeah, I said it 2.
I thought you said 2 3s.
I said I don't think he's originally. I said, and you can look back. It's February 15th. I wrote it down because you and Fiasco were threw me in the shadow realm after.
Fiasco.
So I made sure. Yeah, Andrew Fiasco. That's his name.
I think you mean Fialco, but go on.
Well, it's always a fiasco when I come on and you're on with him, so I call him Fiasco. It's fine.
He's very tame, but I see what you're doing. Go ahead.
It's all play on words. You're a media guy. You appreciate.
Oh yeah, I see what you're doing.
But no, I what I said was at the time they weren't trading the 10th overall pick for him, so I didn't think he was going for a 1st-round pick because I didn't think any of the teams late in the 1st round were going to offer that. So he was going to go for a 2, and I still think that's what's going to happen in the next week or so. We're going to see a trade that comes through, and you've seen the offers. The New England trade offer right before the draft was the 34th pick. So say what you will, the fact is right out there. Go look it up on Twitter.
I don't have the energy to do it, Nick. I will see you tonight. We could yell about Ayuk then. I didn't even hear the last part, to be honest with you. I was checking my phone because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything from training camp. Either way, I think Ayuk's getting traded. And when he is traded, I do believe there'll be a 1st in the deal. Maybe it's a conditional pick that can become a 1st, but I think a guy that good is going to go for a 1st. But we'll see. At the end of the day, as long as he's not on the Niners, that helps the Jets for week 1. And I'm not rooting for injuries, but if McCaffrey needs to take an extra week or 2 to get his calf ready to roll, and he's out for week 1, fine by me. I know there's some saying, oh, you want to beat him at full strength. No one cares, man. No one remembers. The Jets get any credit last year for beating the Bills when they lost Rodgers? No. So, they were 7-10. The team's a joke. They stink. I don't care. All right? I'll beat the F out of whoever they play. That's my mentality. And if you get an advantage along the way, great. The Jets are certainly due for some breaks after what the hell we've been through. That's how I look at it. So McCaffrey can't be there, is what it is. Not rooting for it, but it is what it is. Jay Graves says, love that he rejected the Pats. Yeah, Pats are terrible. They have, remember the jet tax, how the Jets would have to grossly overpay for free agents to sign with them because the team sucked? That's now the Patriots. Ayuk didn't even want to sign the deal because they have no quarterback right now. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Drake May is not a good quarterback. I don't know. I have no idea what he is. No one does. There's been guys I was convinced were going to be terrible. They ended up being great. So over the last 4 years, I have totally just given up trying to guess how I think these quarterbacks are going to do because nobody knows. The last time I was convinced a quarterback was going to suck that ended up being great was Josh Allen. So I'm just Sam Darnold was better than Josh Allen when they were both rookies. And now look what happened. So I have no idea what Drake May is going to be. But I do know this. They're not any good right now up in New England. And the Jets need to smash them twice. All right? And there's no amount of points they could score in that game in the home opener that will satisfy me. I want blood. All right? I want to destroy the Patriots. Destroy them. Run up the score. Whatever. Keep going. Lane writes in, how do you feel about Daniel Jones for the Giants? Lane, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the answer to your question if you call into the show. Because I have some questions for you, Lane. I want to get to the bottom of this beef you have with Charles, who might be coming out tonight, folks. Charles says he plans on being there. He has enough money for the Uber there, but I'm comping him his Uber ride home. Very specifically, money for the Uber there, but not home. We're not sure what makes a difference there, but I'm taking care of Charles' food, his Uber. We're going to get Gorman there. So we will see. Dakota writes in, we are brooming the Patriots out of the way easily this season by sweeping them for the first time ever in my lifetime. I couldn't even tell you the last time the Jets beat the Patriots twice in the same season. 2000 maybe, when they were 5-11. In Belichick's first year there, the year before Brady took over in 01. That's probably the last time, right? New England was terrible that year. I'd have to look. The Jets they should have been a playoff team that year. We know what happened at the end of the season. Al Groh 9-7. So we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'm going to say. Stop whatever it is you're doing, all right? If you're not by your computer, your television, your phone, however you consume this tremendous program, get in front of your device. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we have right now is something special.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. That's good.
Lane Kerner. What's up, Lane?
Oh, hi, Jake.
Hi, Lane.
How are you? Yeah, so what I was saying about the whole thing about what Charles said. Okay, I don't know what he says, but whenever he criticized me, so one time, and then his mom says, "Who's that? Please get off the phone. You have to go to sleep." Because I guess his mom. That's what I was gonna say. I didn't mean no harm.
So you're firing back at Charles because he poked the bear, right? He criticized you first,
Yeah.
and you're basically
Why
saying,
is that?
"Hey, Charles, don't criticize me. Your mom's the one telling you when to go to bed." Am I following?
Yeah, but what is he, like a small kid or something? He has to have a curfew. Anyway, yeah, he's funny also.
So
I
is
like
there
him.
beef where you guys are you guys are
No,
okay?
he's good, and I also want to give my shout out to. I hope that Bobby feels better because I think he wasn't feeling well for a while.
Yeah, he's in the hospital right now, Lane. Yep.
Oh my God, mazel tov for him to get better. Another Jewish story.
Mazel tov for him to get better. Absolutely.
Oh, so anyway, tonight you're having the thing at 7:00 at the Mexican restaurant. I heard.
Yes.
So, is it live or not live?
It's a meetup. It's not a show. It's a gathering of the Asmaniacs, Lane.
Mhm. Yeah, and the last caller I heard was pretty good. Who was that you were talking to? The woman, I think. I forgot who that was, but she also did it. Yeah, she did a good job. Anyway, so I don't know about the practice tomorrow due to the weather. Honestly, it doesn't look good.
It looks like it's gonna rain.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to rain all of tomorrow. So, yeah, but anyway, yeah, I mean, I just hope that, yeah, I mean, so I don't think that Daniel Jones will start in the practice. He'll start in the regular season, but not the first practice game.
So you don't think he'll start in the preseason game, but he'll start in the regular season?
Yeah, because, I think they want to give him a rest so he doesn't get injured. And what else was I going to say? Oh, and you have to move the ball down the field. I think that what he did last year, he missed all of last season.
Are you talking about Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers?
No, I'm Aaron Rodgers. When he missed the season last year, he didn't do good.
No, well,
him and also Daniel Jones also. He got injured also on the Giants. I mean, they have a lot of new players also that they have going into their training camp. Yeah, they play the Vikings actually for the first week.
Do you think the Jets are going to be good with Aaron Rodgers back?
Yeah, I think he'll come. Yeah, I think he'll be good. Rather, I would said he was going to come back. Yeah, I think he'll be good because you have to realize that he missed all of last year.
He did.
For what he did.
Yeah. It was very sad when he missed all of last year, Lane.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't really get to see him play that much.
Yeah. Nobody did. He played 4 plays.
Yeah, I know. And then he got out with an injury. I think he pulled something, his leg. So, Yeah, and what else? It's just been a lot of sports on starting for week one already. I cannot believe it. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Well,
Thank you for we're talking sports again.
Lane, it's always a pleasure to talk sports with you. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Goodbye.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Look, the key takeaway from that call is Lane's just having a little fun with Charles. All right. That's what I took away from that one. In Lane's comments earlier, he introduced another player that the Jets have that's trying to make the team. So for those who missed it, I believe the player's name that we need to watch for in this preseason game Saturday at 12 p.m. is none other than the Laser, who's going to try and make the 53. So keep that in mind. That's a player to watch, according to Lane. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Smash that Lane Train emoji for the Lane Train if you're a channel member. More calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. The King is on the line. King Lowski. Hello, King.
Jake, my brother. Always good to see you, my brother. Great call by the Lane Train, my guy. I got every word you said, Lane, and I agree with everything you said, Lane. We got to get the Laser involved, baby. Okay. Let me just say this, man. It's a beautiful thing that we're hearing all of these things coming out of training camp and all of that. But I just want to say this, man. I'm so focused on week one, and last night I got into it with a little 49er fan on a round table, and he was talking real spicy. So I just told him, yo, you better know how to squabble, because CMC, no Trent Williams, no Greenlaw, no Ayuk, y'all in trouble, my boy. So hey, they can say what they want to say about us, baby. Okay, they can come up with all of the headlines, the storylines, but at the end of the day, we gonna have to get in between them white lines, okay? And at the end of the day, we gonna get out there hitting, okay? So Washington, be prepared, because we want to fight, and I don't care what my man say. Hit him when you can't do nothing else. You hit him. Okay, that's what we want to do. All right, we ain't got time for all of the pity pat games. We not doing no two-hand touching out there. We coming to put some foot up Washington ass. Okay, that's what we gonna do. All right,
yeah, the King has spoken. That was one of those calls where Lowski is so loud that his phone stopped working. Amazing. Franco writes in, what happened to Scott? Look, Scott kind of like Lane. He picks and chooses his spots. Some guys call every day. Some guys want their calls to matter, to be memorable, to be a rare occasion. I'll tell you what, though, I recognize we have a lot of new listeners who, maybe weren't tuned in every day during the off season, which I get it. Life gets in the way, but now you're back. You're ready for the Jet season. You bought your merch from the merch store. You're ready to go, right? A lot of people out there probably don't know who Scott is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share some of Scott's life lessons that he's given us over the last couple months on the show. Because I'm seeing it now. Like, we're 2 hours in almost. There's still 300 people watching. We'll have thousands after the fact that are going to see this show. A lot of you are new, and I get that. Keep subscribing if you haven't. But we have a caller named Scott. He's known to chase ducks around his local park. He might be a suspect in a robbery in the Albany region. We're not sure about that. But when he calls in, he does provide us with life lessons that we will take with us for the rest of our time.
It's time for some life lessons with Scott.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
Bill Parcells had a horse here. Years ago, I was doing pest control. So I'm spraying around this pool, and you can tell it's his house. Of course, my pants fall down. They're clapping and hooting and hollering. I get a call back from the office, and hey, Scott, are you spraying with your pants off? Because people are calling in because your pants are down, looking at your legs and your underwear. I was like, yeah, I'm spraying with my pants down. They wanted me to flex and shit, so I did. Show off my legs. I'm worried about our right guard.
Scott, how do you go back to talking about football?
I just weighed myself at the gym. What we're doing is this. So I got to get my fat ass into shape. I'll have my workouts taped.
What is the goal?
I want to be sat down. An entity comes in. It's Mother Nature. And I'm sitting down in this cave, and there's like the ambiance of all the here we go, Gator. Fireflies are lighting up like candles. I am who you think I am. I am Mother Nature herself. From the deep sea creatures to my land beasts to all swarms, everything that nourishes and grows. Creatures of flight. That's the shit you start with. I'm starting to get my world-class legs back again. My legs are awesome. I'm going to say this one time. I'm going to get into shape. Muscularity, thickness. I've been homeless twice. So what I'm telling you is that when they say you can't do shit, no. Anyone who has ailments and physical disabilities, you're limitless. I hope it helps somebody. If it helps somebody, that's all that matters.
God bless, Scott. Yeah. I look forward to hearing from you again and following the fitness journey.
Well,
are you with all the ducks right now? There's a lot of quacking going on.
There was 2 ducks fighting. The youngsters are swimming, but yeah, we're out there. So there's our youngsters. Should I ask them if they they want to go on YouTube? Excuse me, ladies. NFL Jet football talk on YouTube. You want it? It's live. Do you want to go on and just say hello to YouTube?
No, thank you.
Oh.
I thought you were going to ask the ducks if they wanted to come on the show, not the 2 ladies at the park.
You know what? Generation Z and X, it's like, look, guys, and these people looked at me like I'm kind of crazy and shit. I got to get in shape. IV, liquid water. Here.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit. Whatever. 6-pack of abs. It's not working.
Take it easy there, Scott. Hey. Scott.
You're going to see them because they're going to look amazing. Like Bobby Midnight set. He's a big ball of crap.
Well, Scott, thanks for calling. I'm glad day 1 of the workouts went well, and you're still not banned from the park.
Never forget it.
I never will. Thank you. Hello, Scott.
Oh, like I said, pest control when I was spraying his house and my pants fell down. I got to go to the gym.
Scott, thank you for the time. What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is Scott, who's called back in. Hello, Scott. Scott? Scott! Let me try and wake him up. Hold on. Didn't work. Let's see if he's awoken. Scott? You're up next. Hello, Scott. Hey.
Oh, hey. No, I'm awake. It just with the underwear.
Yes.
Did you like that? That's nothing, dude. I've been kicked out of 2 zoos. In a cage, there was a male tiger and a male lion. The male tiger didn't like me. He tried to pee on me, the male lion. Now, that's a rope about like this thick that shot out about 8 to 10 feet. I got kicked out of that one.
Oh, no. We can't lose Scott mid-second story on why he was banned from a zoo.
And those were just a few life lessons from Scott.
This show, man. This show. Hit the like button if you like Scott. Or if you learned a lesson. Hit the subscribe button. That's even more important. You can do so by clicking the subscribe on the right-hand side. There's a button. That easy. Ladies and gentlemen, are you kidding me? Felix Campos with a 10 spot of channel memberships. Oh my goodness. Felix, who called in earlier, has money to spend for the Asmaniacs. Ladies and gentlemen, we say thank you to Felix.
Show me the money.
Show me the money! Money.
There you go.
C. Cap, Danette Randall, Alex G, Stern Riffs, Y. Salas, Jet for Life, Rodney Pelletier, Derek B. Shepard Sr., Mr. Downtown, Crunching Numbers, Gangrene Goliath, all recipients of a channel membership. Unreal. Let me get caught up on some super chats here. Nate writes in with a super chat. When Lane said during a Charles segment, can you cut him off? I lost my gosh darn bananas. I was wheezing and my kidneys hurt. Lane is 1-of-1, man. Him going up and in on Charles, I like it because Charles, remember, he started the war with Lane. He called Lane an idiot. All right, let's not forget that.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas.
I know I won't forget that. Now, I won't play the whole thing because I just gave you guys a long clip. And I want to get back to a couple calls before we wrap a nearly 2-hour program here. We might have an afternoon show today. I say might because I got to travel to Jersey and get ready for this event. So it's definitely not going to be 2 hours long. But for those who don't know, this to me is where the original Lane Charles beef started. I just got to find the clip here. It's a deep cut. Here we go. I'll play just the beginning because it's a long thing. I think in classic Charles Gorman fashion, I saw a comment from Charles that said, "Who is Knoble?" As we played a full video explaining exactly who Knoble is. So Charles, I go to you next. Do you still not know who Knoble is?
I think Lane Train's an idiot. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
What do you mean he's an idiot?
He's making stuff up. Who's Knoble? I looked him up on the internet and he's not there.
He is. He went to college.
Guys, stop it. Seriously, I know the bullshit coming out of your mouth. It's bullshit.
Charles, I don't like your tone.
Here,
Charles.
how do you spell Knoble?
Charles, I don't need to dignify your nonsense. See you later. Get out of here. How do you spell Knoble? Doesn't matter how to spell Knoble. All that matters is he's one of the great prospects we've ever seen.
On the 2022 draft pick, the pick goes to Knoble out of college.
More of your calls right now. Let's go to Jake Klein. What's up, Jake?
Well, actually, first off, for 1 second, who's Knoble?
No, he's a phenomenal prospect for the New York Jets.
I tried Googling it. It said like amusement park things. I was like, I don't know.
No, he played at college.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll Google it another time, but
see you later. Jake, thanks for the time. Charles writes in, enough with the chicken soup talk. I'm pissed because of the stupidity this show has succumbed to. Hello, Charles.
Enough with the stupidity. I understand this Lane Train guy may be a nice guy, but does he even know what he's talking about? I've been looking this Kenobi guy nonstop. Here, I'll share my screen with you. I know you're laughing, Jake.
Yeah, I'm laughing.
Knoble.
Type in Knoble out of college. It comes right up. It's like the first search. Type it in.
I am out of college. There's no such thing as him.
You believe everything you see on the internet? You're telling me your Google is accurate right now?
Yes, it is accurate.
How is it possible, Charles, if Knoble's not real, that Gator was able to put together an entire draft profile?
Knoble, FP football player from college. He is 5'7", 109.8 LBS, prospect grade 0.0, production score 69, and an athletic score of 007. He's very good, gets flag penalties, but he's very, very good, and I'm very good at this, taking football players.
You're defending Lane Train. That's what you're doing.
He played for the Rhinos. You just saw it.
Jake, if you want to lose a subscriber, stop right now.
Charles, I will take Lane Train over anybody. So if you're going to unsubscribe to my channel over Lane Train, then you know what? You got to do what you got to do.
Stop defending Lane Train.
Charles.
The guy doesn't know what he's talking about, Jake. How about stop lying to yourself, stop lying to these people, and actually say the truth? I'm on your Discord, and one guy called Frankie Castle agrees with me.
Charles, I'll just keep playing Lane Train Sounders if you keep slandering the man.
I'm not slandering the man. I'm telling him. But you know what? I'm not in the mood right now. Goodbye.
Charles, thank you for the time. Well, people, tonight's the first time I get to meet Charles Gorman, I believe, in person. We've come a long way since that moment. But that's where the Lane Train versus Gorman beef originated. Never forget. The Knoble saga, one of the best sagas in the Asmaniac universe in the history of this show. Just incredible. Dano writes in, Jake Asman t-shirt idea. Let's succumb to stupidity. Charles is gold. Gold, Jerry. Gold. Well said. Green and white. Nate says it's impossible to not laugh at these clips. This show cracks me up. Harvey says this show never disappoints. Thank you, Harvey. Incredible. Georgie using his free super chat. Lane will F up Charles. Well said. Thank you for the support. Lee is setting the line at Charles minus 200. Interesting. Gary, call back in. You're the boxing guy. Boxing fight. What would the odds be? Lane Train versus Gorman. Charles Eugene Gorman. More of your calls before we wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob the Jet fan is on the line. Hello, Rob.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, Rob, how are you?
I tell you, Lane Train finally fired back with the curfew to our boy there, Charles. That was hysterically funny. I was laughing my ass off. But I don't know what the odds would be there. We have to call Gary on the odds there. But I got a Gator. What do I have to do to get an intro, buddy? I want an intro. And those intros are cool. The one with B-Mac, I thought that was so freaking cool. I loved it. I want my own intro.
Time. It's great.
I want my own intro, Jake.
Look, I don't decide who gets one. It's truly up to Gator and his discretion.
Okay, Gator, if you're listening, get me an intro, buddy. I love it. But I was kind of listening. First things first. A lot of love to Bobby. Bobby, feel better. Take your meds. Elevate your feet. And then when you're healthy, you got to start going on walks, buddy. You have to. You have to. Question, Jake. On the thing about the Pats, where you said you want blood, you want to kill them, you want to beat them so badly. I'm in agreement with you, but here's the thing that I question. Is it as satisfactory to you that everyone's gone now? I mean, Brady's gone.
Their fans aren't. Their fans aren't.
That's for Belichick, who I despise. I want to punch that guy's smug look off of his face. Is it as satisfactory with those guys gone?
To me, no, look, obviously, best case scenario, Bill would still be there when they do this, but they beat him in his last game last year.
Yes.
So we got that at least. And so we don't go into this game with like, oh, they've lost 15 in a row against them. There's pressure on the game that you need to win because they stink and you should beat them. So, no, I mean, look, there's a lot of Patriot fans in my life. I went to school with a lot of them. And I hate them. I hate all of them. I hate that city. They're sports fans.
Now I get it.
I despise them. So I want to stick it to them where the sun don't shine as much as we can in both the games, especially when you play them twice in the first 8 games of the year. They might be better towards the end of the year if Drake May gets settled in and starts to improve. You got to stick it to them early. So they got to destroy them both times.
I agree. I was just saying because I love looking at Belichick's face when he gets defeated. He's so pissed off. He doesn't want to shake the coach's hand. He barely shakes their hand. He runs away like a little wussy that he freaking is. So I love sticking to him last year when Allen was saying, oh, we got to tank the last couple of games so we can get Fashiono but what ended up happening? We still got Fashiono, and he's looking great so far. So the best thing to do was to beat Belichick and stick it up his bunghole. So I love that, Jake. So I'm with you there. I'm just saying it's a little bit more satisfaction when that idiot's around and just jamming it up as you know what. Though I hate Kraft too, the owner. He's another idiot, correct?
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is this. Obviously, like, beating Brady with Belichick is, like, the gold standard. That's why, like, January 16th, 2011 is the best day of my life. But, their fans are still arrogant, and they're still thinking that, oh, well, eventually we're going to be good. No. Your run's over. You had the greatest run ever in football. It will never happen again. Now you're going to be bad for hopefully a long, long time, and it's the Jets' time this year, and they got to stick it to them.
I'd love it for them to be bad for years and years. Suffer the way we suffered, Jake. We don't want to see this team be good anytime. I'm hoping that Drake May is not good for this team because, They chose him. He looked like he was good in college, but hopefully this team stays bad for a while. That's why Ayuk going to Pittsburgh would be fantastic. We got to keep this team in the cellar for the longest time, the way they made us suffer. And pumped up about the 17th. Can't wait to see you guys there. We're going to have a ball at T-Square. Gator, I need an intro, buddy, a cool intro, please.
Gator did write in something, though, during this call, Rob. He wrote, searching for an angle for you, Rob. Need you to be a little more off the rails. So, all right,
off the rail?
Yeah.
I can get off the rail if he wants. Gator, give me an intro. I need an intro, Gator. Don't let me go looking for you. Do you want some of this? How's that, Gator?
That might work, Rob. Nice job out of you. Rob, great call. There might be something there. I'm not going to tell Gator how to do his job. That's like telling Picasso how to paint. But Gator wrote he just shit himself, so you got that, Rob. Maybe you'll have an intro. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I felt pretty well protected when we were in Vegas last year, and I had my bodyguard, Rob, the Jet fan from Glenhead, with me. It's my guy right there. Also, I am noticing the comments. Rob finding a way to still take a shot at Allen during his call. Incredible. That was tremendous. Pittsburgh Mike writes in, Rob is angry. You won't like Rob when he's angry. That is true. Now you just can't leave. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane Train is back with another comment. The Jets have a lot of injuries in camp. Yes and no, Lane. I mean, Michael Carter is a big one, but thankfully he should be back in a couple weeks, if not sooner. A little banged up with some of the receivers. Malik Taylor's not practicing. He was having a good camp. They don't have Reddick. That's not an injury, but that's a notable absence. I'm going to knock on wood because it always could change. It's football. But, they've been all right so far. Just get to week 1 with Rodgers healthy, Garrett Wilson healthy, Tyron Smith healthy. And you feel like that's enough offensively with this defense to be ready to roll. That's what you're praying for. Snowball writes in, Jake, is it true Brady's taking a coaching position with the Bucs? No. He's going to the broadcast booth this year. He's being paid $300 million by Fox on his new deal. Tom Brady is not taking a coaching position with the Bucs. I don't know where that came from. TB says, let Drake May be the next Zach Wilson. I agree. That would be nice. Do I think Drake May will be better than Zach Wilson? Yeah, I do. Why? Because it's hard to be worse than Zach Wilson. It really is. That's no Ghost Road and too much snow for Snowball. Maybe. Now, TB says, let Drake May be the next Zach Wilson. Let Drake May be the next Carly F.
Wait, you can't post it unless I do a good one.
Okay, Zach Wilson. Okay, Zach Wilson. Back to back. You really are, Zach.
My receivers are not helping at all.
I was getting nightmares watching that. Just not going through the progressions, just throwing it up there. Brutal. But if you think you could do better, which I think many of you can, if not all of you, try the football simulators at T-Squared Social next Saturday, August 17th. They have every sport: football, baseball, basketball, lacrosse, hockey, golf, every sport. Check it out. I'm seeing Dano write in, Adam Gase is at Broncos practice. Is that real or this is a bit? Dano, I'm putting your credibility on the line here. All right. Just want you to know that. Let's see. Oh, no, it's real. Adam Gase. I see him. Wow. I haven't seen Adam Gase in a public setting since the Jets fired him. Seriously. He was working for the Mannings. I don't know if a lot of people know this. Adam Gase was employed by Peyton and Eli Manning to be their film guy, their researcher, go over concepts and stuff for the Manning cast to like help prep Eli and Peyton for the teams. And we have not seen Gase anywhere publicly. He hasn't gotten a job. Not saying he couldn't be an assistant somewhere. I don't know if he wanted to. He was still being paid a lot of money by the Jets to not coach. Made a lot of money in Miami after he was fired. But we have not seen Adam Gase at all. So this is the first time I've seen Adam Gase publicly in a while. I'll show you guys. This is from KOA in Denver, the Broncos radio affiliate. Here's Adam Gase. This is exactly what Denver needs to turn Zach Wilson around. You know, you need to have an offensive genius come out and show him the ropes. Because, look, here's the thing with Adam Gase. And, you know, it's funny because a lot of people seem to forget this over the years. If you're trying to fix a young quarterback, Gase is the guy. He is a quarterback guru, quarterback whisperer. In fact, I would even go as far to say Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan.
And Jet fans are clueless. I mean, they're dopes. They don't know anything. This is a really good hire. Gase is a great coach. Gase is a great coach. Okay, Adam Gase is Kyle Shanahan before Kyle Shanahan. Gase is a great coach. Is a great coach.
Yeah, I mean, like, I totally understand where Colin's coming from. It makes total sense. Us Jet fans, we're dopes. You guys are dopes. I'm not one of you. You guys are the dopes. Look at this guy smiling. I actually have no ill will personally towards Gase. I'll make that clear. He never should have been hired. I blame Christopher Johnson for that more than anyone. We knew Gase was bad. I didn't need to watch it for 2 years to confirm that. And it turns out he was much worse than just bad. But, you know, he's actually not a bad guy. I've heard some stories about Gase. You know, I won't tell you who this is, but someone who's actually somewhat high up now in an NFL front office who I know well, met Adam Gase at the NFL Combine several years ago, and he was looking for work. And Gase was just online at Starbucks. Gase was still the Jet coach then. And this person I know well chatted him up. Gase gave him his info, said to reach out if you have any questions. Happy to help you. And I also know Gase, in his community wherever he lived in Jersey, him and his wife donated a lot of money to the local football program. So I want to make it clear. Guy was a horrendous coach, never should have been hired, not a bad human. There's a difference. And I blame Christopher Johnson way more than I blame Gase for being bad. I knew Gase is bad. The problem was he never should have been hired. And that's on Christopher Johnson, who had the audacity to just tell all of us that Adam Gase is coaching football to where it's going. What a joke. Adam Gase. The best is Joe B still not knowing how to say his name. Just called him Gaze. Gaze. Oscar says, you're a better man than I am. Well, you meet these people personally, Oscar. You know, you always try to separate the athlete or the coach from like the human being, you know? Like if you guys notice, we'll be critical of people on this show. We'll never make it personal. But, I mean, I'll never forgive Christopher Johnson for hiring him. What a joke. What a joke. The best is so many people know the Gase quote from Christopher Johnson. Jay wrote it. Carly wrote it. It's amazing. In honor of Adam Gase, the Broncos should call a halfback dive on one of their first plays of team drills today. Lane asking the important questions. Do you like McDonald's? Do I like McDonald's, Lane? I love McDonald's. Do you like McDonald's, Lane? Give me a little ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Give me one of those, Lane. But look, good job by Denver bringing Gase in. If you want to get Zach Wilson turned around, just look what Gase did with Darnold. You know, that's the guy. Brutal. Lane writes in, loving it. There you go, Lane. All right. We're going to end the show, I think. Last chance. Comment, question. If you want in. 2 hours. Bethpage Chris says, Gase was at my godson's baseball practice in Florida. I'm told he was generous with his time and personable. Yeah, and I can tell you the people who covered Gase on the beat, they liked him because he would call them up and form relationships with them. In fact, Samini, I already knew this because Rich told me off air, but he told it on the show, so it's fair game to say. But this is not good. This is how you know Gase knew he was cooked. He would call Samini on his drive home from the stadium every week to go over the game, basically trying to buddy up the biggest Jet reporter. So, Rich wouldn't be as tough. But I got to a point where Rich is like, look, the team's 2-14. We had to talk about him getting fired. It's just a reality. Gase tried to play the game with the media. Darwin with a super chat. Are you flying to the Bay Area for the season opener? I am not. But if you're going, Darwin, bring us home a win. I will be hosting a watch party for week 1. Stay tuned for info on that. It could be wild. That game is truly going to be insane. Carly says, please play my hockey clip before we end. You're making a lot of demands today. A lot of demands here. Carly writes, and I think Lane meant Will McDonald. Will the throw. I don't know if he meant that. Nate says, have fun at the event to everyone who's going. Bring the noise, Jet fans. We're having fun tonight. Lane writes in, how do you feel about Robert Saleh for the Jets this year? I think Saleh, while still has a lot to prove, I am not nearly as down on him as some are in the fan base. I think he has shown me enough where I could conceivably see this team being really good with him as the coach. That's how I look at it. I think Saleh doesn't get enough credit for the defense, the staff he hired there, the development on that side of the ball. The offense, it's a problem. I will say one of the things that stood out to me watching, I don't know if anyone watched Hard Knocks yet with the Bears. One of the things that stood out to me was how involved Eberflus was as a defensive coach in the offensive meetings with Caleb Williams, meeting one-on-one. Like I'm not saying Saleh maybe didn't do that with Zach. And at this point, I think it's fair to say it probably wouldn't have mattered because Zach Wilson can't play. But, I think the knock on Saleh is, he's too hands-off with the offense. Well, he's more hands-on this year. And we saw Eberflus be very hands-on with the offense, at least in the first episode of Hard Knocks. So, I think even I've been at 2 practices this summer. I'll be at a 3rd tomorrow. Saleh's been way more hands-on with the offense than any other year prior. He's basically in the huddle. And, CJ Mosley made a comment that he's a turncoat, basically, like kidding around saying he's always with the offense now. So I think that's telling you Saleh's trying. Will it work? I mean, I think you know what it comes down to? How many games is Aaron Rodgers playing? Because if he plays, I think the offense is going to look good because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best to ever play. That's the bottom line. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the show, but I have a request from Lane. Lane says, play the bass, and Jake song. Carly wanted the hockey clip. So here's what I'm going to do because I'm in a giving mood. We will play both. Whoa! T-Squared Social. Play the hockey simulator too. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our show. Hit the like button before you get out of here. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 40,000 subs by that Jet opener week 1 of the season. If you're coming out tonight to Don Jose Mexican Restaurant in East Hanover, I will see you there. BYOB, $25 preset menu with appetizers included. It's going to be a blast, folks. It is going to be a blast. Bring your Gustbusters. It's going to rain. Looking forward to the event tonight. Assuming the weather holds and camp is on for everyone tomorrow, I will meet a bunch of Asmaniacs in Florham Park at the Jet facility tomorrow as well. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Will Parkinson, who came on for the first 45 minutes of the show. So if you tuned in late, go rewind and check out Will's analysis. Stay tuned for a potential late afternoon stream of some sorts. No guarantees, though, because we got the event tonight. So check the Discord for updates. And if you're not on the Discord, are you even an Asmaniac? Join the Patreon, get access to the Discord, 15% on all the merch, everything else that comes with the Patreon. That's the place to be if you're a true Asmaniac and you want to support me as I continue to do this full time for the foreseeable future. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the Lane Train ask for it. So, who am I to not play it? Ladies and gentlemen, we conclude this show with the airing of a song that is sweeping the nation. And I say the nation because V-Man is someone who only likes to talk about Puerto Rico. But the reality is this song is so great that I can't even find it, which is why I'm stalling right now. I don't know where it is. Hold on. I'll find it. All right, I got it. No more stalling. Have a good day, everybody. Let's go, Jets. If you're coming to the event tonight, come hungry and let's have some fun. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you, as always, for your incredible support.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bass, and Jake. Get it started, Gator.
Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Well, Super Jazz always cut the line.
And the Boyalo dances really fine.
When she's so tucking and about them jets.
My senorita, you know she gets real happy.
Real happy at that. The female that doesn't rhyme.
Hey, Gator, it's a family show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake.
I do love that about Jets fans, you know what I mean? They care so damn much. And this has been a shit season, for sure. But we will be back.
Hell yeah.